The bearded man violently threatens the MC with a ladle, demanding he not repeat past mistakes. The MC meekly agrees, clutching firewood while passing the imposing man and other onlookers near grand buildings. The MC walks away, looking dejected, with the large man following closely behind him. The bearded man bellows, demanding to know why the MC is standing still instead of working for food. The MC reacts with wide-eyed terror, screaming his affirmation to the angry taskmaster. The firewood bundle drops with a heavy thud onto the ground. The MC stands alone later, contemplating his upcoming important day while leaning on the woodpile. A chibi-style MC resolves internally to simply endure the current hardship. Here are your 30 coppers and be back by curfew, the elder shopkeeper says, sending the MC bursting out to celebrate his first day of freedom in a month. The MC recalls the Taoist scripture requiring 5 sacrificial animals for the ordination ceremony, considering blood substitutes. Carrying 2 small flasks, the MC walks past a signpost, hearing gossip about a rare spirit fish catch. Bystanders question if Liang Ashui really caught the fish, recalling a previous theft incident involving Liu Laizi. The crowd buzzes excitedly about the spirit fish, noting none have been caught for years. The MC pauses, wondering internally about this spirit fish everyone is discussing. A glowing, ethereal spirit fish is revealed to be an incredibly nourishing delicacy. A muscular man displays the 12-jin oxhorn pomfret, warning poor onlookers to stay back. Someone immediately offers 12 tael for the fish, shocking the onlookers. The MC calculates the value. 12 tael equals years of labor, realizing life is cheap compared to this fish. The MC heads toward a familiar residence, remembering the original owner's home is near. Upon arriving, the MC is greeted by his third brother, who asks if he is back. The second brother, Li Lin, warmly invites the MC inside to talk, noting the sister-in-law is out. Li Lin offers the MC rest and food, mentioning the sister-in-law is absent for a while. The MC is relieved that Li Lin did not pressure him to stay and catch up immediately. The MC surveys the quiet, walled courtyard, finding a suitable spot for his immediate plans. A young man prepares a ritual with a bowl of red liquid, pouring it onto the ground to form a sacred pattern. Completing a large yin-yang symbol to begin the ceremony, he declares himself Disciple Li Zhou, vowing to uphold ancient truths. His expression set with unwavering determination, but a flicker of doubt crosses his mind about becoming an immortal, and he collapses, lamenting the money he spent on this gamble. Suddenly, a violent red energy erupts around him, throwing him to the ground in agony. Then, a moment of serene stillness follows the chaos. As Li Zhou finds himself standing on a wave of dark power, looking around in a strange, ethereal space, his eyes widening in shock at what he sees. A colossal, glowing seal script materializes before him, pulling him deeper into the void, where dark tendrils of energy ensnare his body, and he plummets through the darkness with a scream. An ethereal form dances within the ritual circle. While back in reality, Li Zhou's neck snaps with a sickening crack. He's found unconscious in a courtyard by another man who drops his food and rushes to his side in panic. And with his family's help, Li Zhou slowly comes to his brother-in-law, sighing in immense relief. "But I have to get back to work," Li Zhou mumbles as a touch on his body reveals a strange blue interface. The main character gasps, seeing a system prompt, first star conferral. A massive glowing sword inscribed with runes descends, pulling the MC's attention. The MC ponders the system requirements for advancement: iron, silver, and gold needed. The MC tells 2 observers he needs a few days to earn money. He reassures them, claiming Guard Chin taught him a new technique he overdid. Overhead view shows the forging shop's middle courtyard where apprentices gather. The MC decides a hammer is iron and should work for his new skill. A close-up shows the MC looking determined with sharp, focused eyes. A large sound effect dominates the empty panel space. The MC faces a silent group of apprentices under the bright sun. One observer wonders if the MC is about to start another lesson. The red-haired instructor explains the white ape cloak hammer's internal-external aspects. The instructor demonstrates a move, emphasizing the need to master all 6 harmonies. A student cries out in pain after being struck or forcefully corrected. The instructor looms over the students, stating unsteady feet mean weak strikes. The instructor details the 4 levels of the white ape cloak hammer art. He demands they reach the novice level by year's end to enter the inner courtyard. The students react to the harshness, one whining, another calling the instructor ruthless. The instructor commands everyone to raise their hammers and assume the horse stance. The MC receives a wrapped wooden pole from an ally, looking surprised. The system identifies the item as an ungradable practice hammer, stained by past efforts. The MC smiles, realizing the old man's obsession with the ceremony makes sense now. He thinks it is too conspicuous for the practice hammer to vanish instantly. The MC watches the instructor demonstrate power flow from feet to wrists and fingers. The red-haired instructor and a bearded man discuss the students' weak foundations. Those few from impoverished families, the stout man offers a drink, greeting Brother Chin. The stout man shouts for the apprentices to practice hard. The stout man beams with satisfaction. The main character notes the fatty's strange look, feeling uneasy. The MC struggles, realizing the stance drains stamina quickly. The MC observes others holding up better than him, except New Gui. The freckled apprentice thinks the MC has finally quit. The freckled apprentice boasts about being number one in the courtyard. Night falls as a lantern glows with the character for fortune. The MC wonders if anyone notices the missing hammers. 43 practice hammers are present, mostly ungraded weapons. The MC finds one hammer with the deepest color, deeming it the best. The MC moves with incredible speed, wielding the heavy weapon. He prepares to swing the massive chained hammer, shouting, "Wield." The MC stares intensely, fully committed to the strike. A cosmic diagram appears as the MC channels energy upward. A sudden, intense sound assaults the MC's senses, making him recoil. Deep within his mind, spectral figures repeat, "Practice, practice." The MC is shocked, realizing the stance training is incredibly detailed. The rooster crows loudly as dawn breaks over the mountain peaks. The MC rubs his aching neck, stiff from the previous night's efforts. He reflects on overdoing it, his back and waist hurting intensely. The freckled apprentice enters, startled by the MC already being up. The freckled apprentice wonders if the MC secretly practiced all night. The freckled apprentice exclaims that the MC just woke up. The freckled apprentice stares suspiciously at the energetic MC. The freckled apprentice internally doubts the MC practiced all night. The MC flashes a confident, knowing smile at his observer. The MC retorts with a mocking thought bubble, "Trying to figure me out in your dreams." Sunlight streams onto the traditional curved roof tiles outside. The MC stands ready, carrying wood amidst other workers in the courtyard. Inside, the MC handles the firewood, feeling a power level shift overnight. The MC claps his hands together, testing his newfound control. The MC realizes martial arts mastery is about precise power flow. The instructor demands serious practice of stance and hammer techniques. A student asks Brother Lu how long novice level takes. The MC grips the heavy, chained practice hammer tightly. The MC internally celebrates securing his iron hammer last night. The MC proudly raises the massive chained hammer overhead. The instructor yells about combining stance and movement for power. A student asks Brother Lu about the time needed for the novice level. Brother Lu explains average aptitude takes half a year, rewarding early success. Brother Lu announces New Gi will demonstrate the first of 18 forms. The instructor guides a student, emphasizing power flow from ground to wrist. The MC observes the demonstration, readying himself to try the technique. The freckled apprentice looks shocked as the MC executes the move. The bearded man urges Brother Chin to drink more liquor. Brother Chin declines, stating he must check on the practicing apprentices. The bearded man and Brother Chin share a knowing look over drinks. Someone cheerfully calls out, Hey, all right." A stout man asks Brother Chin about opening a new shop, while Chin demands who shared that information. The stout man dismisses it as a rumor, calling the shopkeeper a venomous dragon from Divine Weapon Valley. Chin agrees it's just a rumor, reminding the stout man not to forget his little brother if the shop changes. A close-up shows the brown-haired man reacting with intense focus and surprise. The stout man questions that kid, while Chin asks what is wrong with him. Someone recognizes the MC as Li Lin's younger brother, while the MC smiles holding the chained hammer. Observers note the MC already performs 3 forms fluidly better than Yugi. Another voice exclaims, "He, a natural with the hammer." The stout man looks confused, scratching his head as the MC walks away. The stout man wonders if the MC offended Xinjiang somehow, watching apprentices practice wildly. A beautiful sunset illuminates a mountainous landscape, signaling the end of the day. The MC stands over a table filled with heavy chained practice hammers. The chibi-style MC realizes he completely forgot about the firewood chopper item. The system identifies the worn firewood chopper as an ungradable lowest grade item. The MC, hungry again, sits down, needing money because his small frame cannot sustain training. The system reveals the bone-scraping meat knife grants the novice in a myriad of skills effect. The MC grins, asking if the owner will sell him the meat knife. The owner counters, asking for 1 qian for the knife. The MC happily presents the knife to the surprised shopkeeper. The MC sprints through the streets at sunset, drawing attention from onlookers. The MC reflects that losing the hammer skill feels like having a layer of clothing stripped away. He notes that while the weapon change is minor, he can only switch wielded weapons every 2 days. The MC screams in panic, realizing he needs to upgrade the weapon mastery register itself. He feels like he has been carving meat for many years now, despite the change. The system upgrade conditions are too harsh. The reincarnator laments being too poor. Someone calls out demanding the MC bring hot water over immediately. A sharp single-word exclamation of realization rings out. Head cook's son teases the MC about his supposed skill with a hammer, calling it a pity. The MC questions head cook's son about what exactly is a pity. Head cook's son reveals his own loves: martial arts, wine, fine food, and women. The MC internally questions the meaning behind head cook's son's strange comments. Head cook's son shares gossip about a slender, attractive woman named Nu in the Chayu district. The MC reacts, asking if this woman is related to Nu Gi. Another apprentice looks on with a serious, slightly concerned expression. Head cook's son explains the forging shop's strict apprentice training procedures. He notes that Qinzhong usually wouldn't teach martial arts to apprentices. The MC replies with a simple understanding, "I see," while working. Head cook's son explains Nu Gi's promotion to the middle court last month. The MC thanks head cook's son for the advice from the window. The MC is shown splashing water on the massive, steaming head cook's son. The MC is depicted in chibi style, wiping tears from his eyes. A large sound effect emphasizes a sudden action or impact. Head cook's son declares the MC's constitution acceptable, though his bones are weak. The MC smiles, requesting to learn cooking from head cook's son. The MC internally acknowledges head cook's son's surprising martial arts skill. Head cook's son chuckles, asking if the MC wants extra food due to the middle court's poor rations. The MC eagerly confirms, stating he can cook and do manual labor too. The MC pleads with wide, hopeful eyes to be taken in. A hand is shown pulling up a clump of glowing aquatic grass from the dark ground. The stout man Fatty Son instructs the MC to maintain his stance while hammering, announcing he will teach the white ape breathing method just once. The MC beams with excitement, thanking the head cook before practicing outside. Several months vanish quickly as the weather turns bitterly cold. People move through the snowy market stalls under heavy snowfall. The MC, feeling improved, notes his diet and breathing method progress. He credits his math skills for his new procurement role at the middle court gate. The MC examines a boot, noting its Tier 1 status and system requirements. He looks surprised, realizing he has encountered a tiered item finally. The text explains the boot's properties and the requirement for all 4 limbs intact. The MC questions the steep price of 1 qian of silver for a single shoe. The vendor counters offering the shoe for 40 copper coins to Brother Lee. The MC suggests trading spices for the shoe, claiming the stall's goods look good. The vendor praises the MC's taste and offers the shoe free with a spice purchase. The MC agrees to the deal with a resigned expression. Internally, the MC grins, having successfully tricked the vendor. A quiet shot shows the snow-covered roof eaves dripping icicles. The MC rushes up a building, shouting "Wield," while glowing in an alleyway. He stands bathed in celestial light, summoning the massive glowing hammer. A swift foot movement causes a massive shockwave, making the MC exclaim. The MC is shocked, realizing the boot grants the fleet-footed effect. Excited, the MC declares Tier 1 items are amazing and must be upgraded. He despairs over the impossible upgrade costs, thousands of iron, silver, and gold taels. The MC overhears people mentioning Liang Ashui's arrival. The MC turns, seeing the crowd gather as someone asks about another spirit fish catch. A man shovels snow, greeted by someone calling out, "Yuan, you're back." The MC, Yuan, smiles, presenting cured fish he brought back. The greeter praises Yuan's strength and mentions his sister-in-law bought meat. Yuan replies he already ate, being a kitchen helper who isn't left hungry. The greeter notes the early snow and offers Yuan a new winter coat inside. Yuan questions where the money for an expensive winter coat came from. The greeter explains the cost, noting it's enough for a family's half-year living. The greeter claims he chopped wood and used his sister-in-law's wages for the coat. Yuan refuses the coat, saying the forge provides one after winter starts. The greeter insists Yuan wear the good clothes his sister-in-law made. The greeter happily forces the fur-collared coat onto Yuan. He swears he would be struck by lightning if he mistreated her after hard times. The greeter notes Yuan is growing fast, glad the coat fits well. Yuan asks his brother directly if he borrowed money from someone. The brother enters the worm room, seeing Yuan standing there. The brother reacts, asking who revealed his secret loan from Fatty. He looks toward the window, contemplating the situation. The brother reveals the loan is from Qianbao, a loan shark, due next winter. Yuan insists they still have savings, telling his brother not to borrow more for him. The scene shifts to the kitchen where the sister-in-law is present. Yuan's hands hover near the fire, warming them. The sister-in-law tells Yuan to take the coat, saving his brother a trip. Yuan thanks her, noticing her hands are covered in chilblains. He offers to fetch hot water for her hands while she cooks the fish. The brother observes Yuan's speed, sighing about how fast the kid runs. The MC commands the system to switch his equipped item to the practice hammer, confirming the switch. Suddenly shouting, "Ack!" the MC swings the heavy hammer, nearly losing balance. Standing outside, the MC notes his perception is incredibly sharp, sensing movement nearby. A text box explains blood chi proficiency advances from palms to arms. Then all four limbs, the MC grips the hammer, feeling the power surge, exclaiming martial arts are about this moment. A cheerful voice calls Yuan inside for a late-night snack. The MC reacts with surprise, recognizing the caller as Head Cook Sun. Head Cook Sun demands to know why Yuan is just standing there, looking shocked. The head cook asks if he heard correctly, confirming the name Yuan. Sun pours medicinal wine, stating Yuan needs energy replenishment as his blood chi awakens. Head cook Sun questions how Yuan reached the entry level so fast despite average constitution. Sun suggests Yuan's second brother must have provided significant supplements. The MC thinks his second brother has always been very good to him. The MC asks if the spot he is aiming for isn't already reserved for New Gui. A close-up reveals Qin Shang reached major accomplishment, nearing internal energy realm breakthrough. The stout man dismisses Qin Shang's power, noting the forge has rules over 200 years old. The MC questions the stout man, recalling he used to flatter Qin Shang previously. The stout man lectures that opportunities aren't just given. Martial arts require fighting for them. He points out that without the shop's backing, Yuan cannot advance far past entry level. Head Cook Sun pours more liquid for the MC while maintaining eye contact. The MC replies he understands, but still needs to fight for what is his. Sun agrees it's Yuan's business, stating he only spoke his mind because Yuan showed talent. The MC accepts the drink, thanking the head cook for his advice. Head Cook Sun is seen passed out asleep inside a wooden chest or cabinet. The MC's hands forcefully push open a set of heavy, snow-covered doors. Blood energy wraps the MC, feeling like warm water relaxation. After a minimal sleep, the MC wakes fully energized, mind crystal clear. The book states mastery is 8 hammer strikes, yet the MC stacks 11. The MC executes a powerful strike, leaving a visible energy trail. The freckled apprentice watches Li Yuan exit, carrying the heavy hammer. The apprentice thinks Li Yuan is up early, calling him cunning for practicing secretly. The apprentice yells Li Yuan's name with intense fury. Li Yuan faces the apprentice, who requests a sparring match. The freckled apprentice internally questions his own sudden nervousness. Li Yuan coldly dismisses the challenge with not interested, turning away. The apprentice is stunned, reeling from the rejection. A man calls out that someone is waiting for Li Yuan. Li Yuan wonders if his second brother has returned again. The bearded man clarifies its bailiffs, asking if Li Yuan did anything wrong. Li Yuan looks shocked, breath misting, asking about bailiffs. Li Yuan faces the stern bailiff, Chu Da, and a stern companion. Chu Da states he is investigating a murder and needs questions answered. Li Yuan gasps, asking if something happened to his second brother. The bailiff demands answers without holding anything back. Li Yuan confirms he only bought spices from Lusan the day before yesterday. The larger man boasts about tracking every expense, impossible to fool. Chu Da concludes questioning, telling everyone to return to work. Li Yuan watches the officers leave, waving goodbye. Li Yuan internally notes Fatty Sun spoke up for him. Fatty Sun and the other man look on as Li Yuan stands respectfully. The stout man questions if Liang Ashui is a serial killer, doubting the accusation. The stout man notes the severity, mentioning the city is under martial law now. The MC realizes the killer might be linked to the shoes he bought earlier. He vows not to return home until the killer is caught and warns his second brother. The stout man yells at the spacing out MC to get back to work. The MC quickly complies, running back into the snowy courtyard. 2 officials discuss the MC, noting he hides something suspicious. One official suggests arresting the MC if Brother Chu has doubts. The other official argues against arresting without concrete proof. The official in red confirms Brother Chu is upright and asks about the Lihei Martial Arts Hall. They discuss how the Empire relies on martial arts to control chaos. They mention Liang Ashui's rapid talent, nearing the minor success stage. The official warns the other that Wang Luan plans to arrest him at Divine Weapon Valley. The second official reacts strongly to the mention of Divine Weapon Valley. The official in red laughs, revealing a secret line ruling alongside the Sects. The MC slips through the gate as the official watches him intently. A sound effect marks a swift action as someone enters a narrow passage. A severely beaten man emerges, lamenting being treated like prey. The battered man curses his attackers for taking his clothes and shoes. A dark, enraged presence looms over the defeated man, striking him repeatedly. Loud slapping sounds emphasize the brutal assault. The victor spares the man needing clues about Chulong and Wang Luan. The victor vows revenge on everyone once his injuries heal. The victor slips out of the shack, peering cautiously into the snowy morning. The vengeful man surveys the complex, determined to reclaim what was stolen. Whispers reveal the hammer art is a secret, superior technique from Divine Weapon Valley. MC realizes the killer must know about the boot, fearing surveillance. Yuan sits, contemplating the secret art, realizing its profound nature. A chibi-like expression shows frustration over the technique's complexity. The fighting style requires mastering one form with 81 variations. He wonders why this is another hammer technique, then recognizes its supreme origin. Resolved, the MC declares he must learn it since he is targeted. Standing tall in his new coat, Yuan resolves to fight for survival. Text explains the lockdown ended, switching to covert searches by Magistrate Lu Yunqing. A severely beaten man sits against a snowy wall, clearly defeated. Bloodied hands clutch the man's tattered clothing in the snow. The battered man rises, questioning how so many internal energy masters exist here. He mentions Divine Weapon Valley fears other sects like the Ghostwriter. The victor notes the last slash almost killed him. Wounded, the victor decides he must leave quickly. A skeletal hand reaches out in a dark, ethereal scene above. The vengeful man steps out of the shack over a defeated skeleton. Fireworks explode in the night sky as the man looks up. Snow falls heavily as someone inside complains about the weather. Another man observes Yuan's dedication, impressed by the non-stop training. A different martial artist practices a sword form swiftly in the snow. A figure stands, silhouetted, holding the massive practice hammer. The freckled apprentice shouts in triumph, announcing he reached entry level. Onlookers express jealousy and awe over New Gi reaching entry level. The crowd praises New Gi, contrasting him favorably with that guy. A close-up shows a determined face above a snow-covered gate, noting someone lacked training methods and was poor. A speech bubble commands everyone to return to work before Master Sun awakens. A superior-looking martial artist tells his peers he must distance himself from these lower-class commoners. The martial artist stands confidently, believing his path is set after reaching the entry level so quickly. Someone wonders if Li Yuan is doing chores, deciding to check on him. Li Yuan cautiously approaches a slightly ajar door in the snowy complex. Li Yuan bursts through the door with a loud shout, initiating swift action. A silhouette executes a powerful, sweeping movement amidst swirling snow and energy. Li Yuan, breathing heavily, seems energized by the intense martial exertion. A powerful strike connects, sending shockwaves through the snowy air. Li Yuan scrambles out, realizing he must immediately inform his brother-in-law about this. Li Yuan confronts head cook Sun, who angrily demands 12 taels owed for using the practice hammer. Li Yuan pleads with the head cook for another loan, promising repayment. The MC beams with false sincerity, insisting he will definitely pay back the debt. Head cook Sun roars, wielding a ladle, accusing Li Yuan of pushing his luck too far. Li Yuan asks head cook Sun about the commotion in the city involving hall master Wang Luan. Sun explains the general manager was ambushed after a party, surviving the attack. Li Yuan reacts with wide-eyed surprise, learning the general manager caught the assailant. Sun confirms the general manager acted fast, saving Wang Luan but lamenting his disciples. Head cook Sun summons Li Yuan to follow him, telling him to come along. Li Yuan nods curtly, his expression serious as he processes the information. Inside, the imposing general manager notes Li Yuan's stance resembles a bear with strong blood qi. Li Yuan credits his progress to Master Qin's teaching. The general manager scoffs, stating Li Yuan's constitution is average, but his hammer work is good. The general manager confirms he promised the inner courtyard spot to New Gi, asking if Li Yuan objects. Yuan dismisses waiting a year, eager to use connections for immediate advancement. The brother hesitates, admitting Li Yuan is stronger, but the older man insists on this year's entry. The brother is ecstatic, asking if Divine Weapon Valley entry is truly possible now. Yuan stands outside, determined not to disappoint head cook Sun, thinking of Qin Shang's progress. He vows he absolutely cannot let down Fatty Sun, who treated him so well. Clutching his money pouch, Yuan heads to the market seeking a tiered weapon today. At the annual grand market, Yuan sees many tiered weapons, claiming a few are his. A simple "huh" interrupts his triumphant moment. Yuan asks the old vendor the price for a scythe, noting its length exceeds farming tool standards. The vendor refuses to sell the scythe, claiming it was his grandpa's lifelong companion. The vendor's younger companion argues, asking what use a broken old scythe has. Yuan requests to inspect the weapon carefully, as the vendor warns of its sharpness. Under a blue glow, Yuan holds the scythe, his eyes blazing with power. The system reveals the weapon, a 3 Yuan Army Standard issue scythe forged in fierce flames. Stunned, Yuan realizes this is far better than the 6 Harmonies boot. The system details long weapon mastery, noting its difficulty and the spirit poured into it. Yuan shouts he has struck gold, having instantly mastered the technique. He excitedly offers 3 taels for the scythe, his eyes wide with manic glee. The vendor is surprised by the high offer, while Yuan smugly confirms his interest. Yuan retreats to a narrow, snowy alleyway between brick walls. He commands "wield" and glows with golden energy while practicing with the scythe. A close-up shows Yuan's eyes glitching with intense, shocked realization. He crashes down onto the icy ground, shouting, "Huh?" in disbelief. Sitting up, Yuan grins, proclaiming, "Damn, awesome" at his success. He celebrates hitting the jackpot, mastering the 13 forms of the sawhorse scythe technique instantly. Yuan tests the staff, confirming, "This thing's solid." A thought bubble focuses on the name, Qianbao, huh. Under the moon, Yuan spins the staff rapidly, preparing for action. A close-up shows Yuan's intense, determined, and slightly menacing grin. A small, sharp sound effect accompanies a knowing chuckle. Hee. Hands carefully lift a snow-covered roof tile, peering down below. An aerial view shows Yuan perched on the snowy roof, observing the compound. Yuan looms over his family, listening to their dark conversation about Chunjian Bao. The conversation reveals Chunjian Bao was a laborer who desires Yuan's sister-in-law. Yuan explodes internally, furious. They ruined his day off with this news. 2 men rush out, urgently needing to relieve themselves outside. The 2 men squat awkwardly in the snow near the outhouse area. Yuan watches the embarrassing scene from above, exclaiming, "Holy shit, my eyes." Yuan leaps down, striking the 2 men with blinding speed and power. He wipes his eye, clearly unimpressed by the easy takedown. Yuan re-enters the house, calling out for Lao Ju and Wang Niu, asking if they fell in a pit. Alarmed shouts erupt as several men rush out from the doorway, demanding to know the noise. Yuan pulls up his mask, facing the approaching group of thugs. The leader, a stout man with a blindfold, curses Yuan for causing trouble on his turf. A large, stylized character mark signifies a powerful strike or impact. Yuan barrels through the entrance, knocking the thugs down like pins. Surveying the scene, Yuan mocks them for falling to a single wooden club. One surviving thug looks up, terrified, demanding to know Yuan's identity. The thug spits blood, his face bruised and battered from the assault. Yuan delivers a final, crushing blow, shouting, "Die," as the thug collapses. One of the defeated thugs lies unconscious, spirit escaping his battered form. Yuan tests his leg strength, surprised by the power gained from the recent fight. He snaps back to focus, realizing this is no time for self-congratulation. A sharp declaration rings out, "Found it." Yuan opens a hidden compartment, revealing shining barrels and treasure. He eagerly delves into the hidden stash, examining old scrolls and coins. Yuan tears up papers furiously, declaring he will teach someone to be a loan shark. A tiny Yuan flees as a massive hammer and cleaver swing down menacingly. Yuan dashes out into the snowy night under the bright full moon. He stands over the downed assailants, breathing out frosty air. Yuan rationalizes his brutal actions as self-defense against giant asses. A close-up shows his cold, determined gaze, noting they are lucky he isn't twisted. He reflects on avoiding trouble for half a year after losing everything. Yuan feels a small satisfaction, thinking it feels great to do good deeds. A massive white shape looms against the dark, snowy sky. Yuan looks up at the moon, holding his staff, ready for what comes next. He stands tall, radiating confidence, ready for his master Qin's ascension. Yuan glows with intense red energy, realizing martial arts require qi and blood. He understands that literature is for the poor, martial arts for the rich. Head cook Sun stops Yuan's practice with a massive open hand. The cook provides medicinal meals, warning Yuan not to disappoint him. Yuan beams, promising head cook Sun he will repay the silver soon. Sun dismisses Yuan's speed claims, stating mastery takes over a year. Yuan shouts back, insisting he will definitely be faster than expected. Head cook Sun gives Yuan time off for the new year, but warns him about the inner court exam. Yuan sips from a small cup, his fur-collared coat draped open, looking relaxed. He slams the cup down hard, declaring his intent to enter the inner court. A large empty speech bubble emphasizes his strong resolution. He confidently states that wielding 2 weapons will make beating Qinjiang easy. A stern-faced man reacts with a small, pained owl, seemingly unimpressed. Others discuss the ongoing investigation into the ambush on Hallmaster Wang Luan. Someone mentions that the injured Jiang Shui disappeared after a few days of recovery. The brother-in-law expresses doubt about the injured man's sudden disappearance. An older man reminds Nu Gui he was taught the inner court exam sections 2 months prior. Nu Gui vows to his sister and brother-in-law that he will not disappoint them. Yuan stands in the snowy street observing the assembled candidates for the exam. Someone asks if third shopkeeper's son, Wang Gong, is also present for the test. The bearded man assures Yuan that last-minute additions from inner families don't count against quotas. He warns Yuan that the third test changed from skill to innate bone quality assessment. The bearded man grimly concludes that Yuan's bones might be a serious problem. A large crowd of hopeful apprentices gathers before the main testing structure. The hopefuls face the judging panel seated inside the grand, snow-covered entrance. Qin Xiang commands the assembly, demanding someone state the rules clearly. The imposing man announces their weapon forges 237-year legacy. Rules detail the inner court benefits, salary, no chores, master guidance, and martial arts. He bellows for all white 8-mantle hammer entrants to step forward. Now, Li Yuan steps forward confidently, drawing the ire of the instructor. The instructor shouts that those who didn't step up must get their bones assessed too. Applicants line up one by one to test their strength on a massive iron block. Yuan grips his massive practice hammer, ready to demonstrate his power. A stern-faced man reacts with shock as two others watch from behind him, one seated, one standing, near a sign with a character. The standing man in green shows a look of intense scrutiny and slight disapproval. Yuan, wearing his new coat, leaps high, swinging the chained practice hammer with explosive force. The seated man expresses confusion, muttering that the bones indicated below average potential. Yuan stands powerfully, holding the massive chained hammer, radiating confidence. A swift downward motion shows Yuan landing hard in the snow, shouting a warning. Yuan grips the chained hammer tightly, preparing to face the charging opponent. A close-up emphasizes the powerful, white-knuckled grip on the weapon shaft. The man in blue lunges forward, while the man in green looks on with surprise. Yuan looks down from above, grinning triumphantly at Qin Xiang, calling him a cheat. A high-ranking elder praises Qin Xiang's rapid mastery of the hammer technique. The elder asks for Yuan's name while addressing the impressive progress. Head cook's son excitedly proclaims Yuan's name and claims credit for teaching the breathing method. Yuan looks stunned as head cook's son reveals his identity to the high-ranking official. The official praises Yuan's extraordinary talent despite his average constitution. The third manager notes the inner courtyard is full, suggesting a challenge for the second manager. The third manager is asked directly for his opinion on the situation. The third manager confirms the talent is amazing, but notes the inner courtyard is crowded. The elder asks Yuan if he will follow guard Qin or enter the inner courtyard. Yuan firmly states his decision to enter the inner courtyard immediately. The elder promises to send the technique manual and personally test Yuan in 7 days. The elder confirms the assessment continues for others, ordering Yuan's constitution checked first. The man who looked stern earlier stares intensely at Yuan walking away. Workers sweat profusely in the forging room as they hammer metal near intense heat. Yuan meets an old man in red robes who judges his constitution as not bad below average, I'd say. Yuan internally notes the old man's grip strength is excessive. The older man assesses Yuan, deeming his constitution just below average. The elder suggests Yuan join the forging room to practice with the White Wolf mantle hammer, requiring iron forging. Yuan requests to see the warehouse first, citing convenience for material buying. Given Yuan placed first in the assessment, the elder agrees to show him around. The elder declares he will take Yuan to select a proper hammer. A rival scoffs, claiming their constitution is better despite Yuan's ranking. Yuan shouts, yes, in agreement to the opportunity. Yuan and the elder approach the massive doors of the weapon storage area. Guards stand ready at the entrance to the imposing structure. The elder, looking serious, tells Yuan to follow him. Yuan enthusiastically agrees. Stepping forward with the elder, they enter the vast, high-ceilinged warehouse filled with weapons. The elder points out popular green water sabers and steel swords. Yuan thinks there must be tiered weapons beyond just those common types. The elder shows a jade saber, noting its rarity and sharpness. Yuan grabs the jade saber, instantly activating system recognition. Both Yuan and the elder react with shock as the saber cuts the elder's hand. Yuan exclaims over the fine quality of the blade. The elder boasts that blacksmiths understand weapons best, not swordsmen. The elder suggests Yuan's talent means he could craft fine weapons if he learned forging. Yuan redirects, asking about the hammers the elder previously mentioned. The elder dismissively points toward the hammers on the shelves. The elder encourages Yuan to pick out a hammer. The elder explains some hammers are new, others left by past apprentices. Yuan eagerly asks the elder if he agrees to his request. Yuan internally notes Old Man Zhang's skill must be top tier, perfect for his art. The elder, Old Man Zhang, fixes Yuan with a knowing, steady gaze. The elder commands Yuan to rise, inviting him for a warehouse walk with his master. Inside the vast shelves, the elder announces the forging shop will expand this year. Yuan questions the expansion, remembering the powerful divine weapon valley. The elder explains Divine Weapon Valley is a major sect in Jialong Manor for millennia. Yuan asks if the imperial court cannot control such a powerful entity. The elder reveals even the court fears the military commanders of the dozen counties. Yuan gasps, questioning if lords or marquises are even relevant against them. The elder confirms the shop's recent dealings all involve Divine Weapon Valley. Yuan returns, greeted by head cook's son, who promises a special meal tonight. Yuan thanks head cook's son for his hospitality upon returning. Yuan notes head cook's son's improved attitude now that he placed first. Sun Hao insists Yuan call him brother son, dismissing the head cook title. Yuan happily agrees to call him brother son, focusing on the food. Brother Sun mentions the Divine Weapon Valley goal, calling it a major leap. Yuan confirms he knows about the valley, asking if Sun can help him get gold and iron. Sun is shocked by Yuan's sudden wealth, demanding to know the source. Yuan brushes off the question, demanding a yes or no on the assistance. A few days pass as snow blankets the grand building exterior. Brother Chu discusses the ongoing failure to catch the thief Nianju with another man. The brother-in-law suggests investigating Li Zhou due to his martial arts and debts. The other man warns against messing with Zhang Ben, whose repairs helped a powerful figure. The brother-in-law reports someone pawned a valuable saber for cheap at the brocade pawn shop. Yuan grins, finding this new situation much more convenient. He wonders if advancing brings other hidden benefits. Yuan successfully wields 2 massive chained hammers at once. System confirms success, he exclaims triumphantly. It's done. Realization dawns. Tier 2 power makes a huge difference. The bearded man asks Yuan if his brother-in-law taught him fighting methods. Yuan deflects, claiming he was praising the man to high heaven. Yuan shouts he will learn the method right now. He insists he is reading the technique, which circulates qi and blood. The bearded man questions how Yuan can learn a difficult method so fast. The man warns Yuan not to rush into smithing tomorrow, offering personal instruction. Yuan confidently states the method isn't that hard. The bearded man is stunned, asking if Yuan knows how long it took him to learn it. Yuan launches forward, swinging the heavy hammer with incredible speed. The massive swing creates a powerful shockwave, sending the bearded man reeling back. The man stammers, realizing Yuan learned the technique instantly. He stares up, wondering if Yuan truly just started learning this. The bearded man admits Yuan's talent is unreal, surpassing others with good constitution. Yuan clings to the man, boasting his 5 months beats 30 years of training. He asks head cook's son to teach him the inner 3 harmonies. The cook calls Yuan a monster for already aiming for the inner 3 harmonies. Yuan covers his mouth, realizing he spoke too much. A stern-faced man calls for Li Yuan to step forward immediately. Yuan gives a suspicious, narrowed-eye look. The bearded man nods permission as Yuan replies with a firm yes. The ghostwriter, Yu Zhen, stands with a cold, knowing expression. The second manager is annoyed to run into the ghostwriter, Yu Zhen. Yu Zhen states he is only here to question the young brother, making Yuan wonder why. The seated man challenges Yu Zhen, questioning his authority to barge into the forging shop. A swift movement suggests someone is leaping across the snowy rooftops. Yu Zhen and the young brother, Tang, arrive outside with an entourage. Tang informs the seated man that Yu Zhen hunts a killer and needs assistance. The seated man acknowledges the situation with a simple "I see." Tang asks the seated man if he heard the urgency of the situation. The disciple confirms understanding, perhaps reluctantly. Yu Zhen muses about what the great hero wants to ask. Yu Zhen recounts his pursuit of the bandit Nianju, losing the trail at Gaoliu. Yu Zhen insists Nianju is still in the city, not having fled to the mountains. Yu Zhen reveals Nianju is from the evil path, alarming the masters. Yu Zhen asks Tang if he saw the last person Nianju killed, Liu San. Tang admits visiting Liu San's stall for spices, but nothing more. Yu Zhen reassures Tang, telling him not to be tense and to relax. A simple "oh" indicates a sudden realization or shift. The young brother's face distorts in shock and confusion. Yu Zhen glows intensely with distorted, powerful energy. A dark presence asks ominously if Yuan refuses to eat. Yuan stammers, mentioning he also bought cured meat, looking dizzy. The seated man roars Yu Zhen's name with intense fury. Tang reacts in shock, asking what just happened to him. Yu Zhen attacks with a spear, moving with incredible speed. A thought bubble simply states, "Old Tang, a stern man, praises someone, noting Wang Tang taught them well." The imposing elder calls for Yun Jin and Li Yuan to enter, dismissing everyone else. Someone questions the power of the 5-poison jade saber, noting it broke instantly. Another voice wonders if the green serpent spear is truly that incredible, praising their master. A disgusted voice dismisses someone as a ghostwriter, showing contempt. The dark-robed man with bloodied hands warns that leaving the victim alive was a mistake. He lectures that the Jianghu is a battlefield where one must sometimes run or stand firm. The student asks his master about the strange martial art Yuan used. The master explains it's a soul-bewitching art, essentially a stupefying drug. He adds the drug is colorless and odorless, defeated only by strong will. The master questions Yuan's weak mental fortitude despite his background hardships. Yuan murmurs in defeat, realizing, I've disappointed you. Yuan asks his companion if Qin Xiong was sent to Faju Mountain. The companion excitedly explains the general lectured Qin Xiong, then sent him away. The companion laughs, stating any traitor would have received worse than a transfer. He asks Yuan if he will attend the Galyu Temple Fair tomorrow. Yuan refuses, needing to train because his brother-in-law scolded him for slow progress. The companion laughs, saying he'll clean up and bathe while Yuan trains hard. Yuan quietly opens a wooden door to his room with intense focus. Yuan stands ready with the jade saber system interface glowing blue. He sighs, noting the saber isn't as good as the ones in the warehouse. Yuan resolves to advance his forging technique and practice the battle slaughter hammer. He stares intensely, determined to master the difficult final variations of the hammer technique. Yuan wonders if he can challenge Qin Xiong now, eager to test his skills. Yuan observes the crowd tossing coins near a banner, muttering about a bodhisattva. He stares up at the terrifying, multi-eyed statue, feeling trypophobia kick in. A large stylized OJ appears in red outline. System details reveal the statue is a Tier 2000 Eye Bodhisattva artifact. Yuan exclaims in shock about the Tier 2 rating and the statue being a weapon. He finds the concept of a divine statue as a weapon slightly heretical. Yuan admits temptation, but decides the Tier 2 item is beyond him for now. He notes other visible items are only Tier 1, too cheap for ordinary folk. Yuan sees wanted posters for Nianju, noting the bounty has increased significantly. A massive crowd ascends temple steps under bright fireworks. Yuan identifies the location at the crippled god temple with grim certainty. He wonders if the covered statue nearby could also be a powerful weapon. The system confirms the statue is indeed earthly crippled god statue, Tier 2. Yuan realizes such powerful items must be guarded by major powers. He questions if only the imperial court could possess such an artifact. A blindfolded Taoist priest approaches Yuan, offering a fortune reading. Yuan recognizes the priest as a fellow practitioner, noting their similar work. The priest praises Yuan's sharp judgment of character. Yuan asks if the ghostwriter has been watching him for some time. The blindfolded man introduces himself as Zhangfang Yuan from Chulong Prefecture. Zhangfang Yuan admits they tracked Yuan for over half a year. Yuan denies knowing Nianju's appearance, claiming they have the wrong person. The ghostwriter asks what Yuan told Chu Da and Yugen about Nianju. He recounts Nianju's 2 city appearances, including killing Liu San and attacking Master Wang Luan. The muscular companion angrily suggests making Yuan bleed for information. A single sound effect cuts through the dark, rainy sky. Huddled against a wall in the downpour, someone endures the storm. A fierce internal declaration rings out, I've got to get stronger. Back inside, an official curses a perfect shot that hit him. An underling presents Head Constable Chu with a high-quality boot. The subordinate points out something hidden inside the boot's sole. Head Constable Chu finds a scrap of paper, furious at the chicken scratch writing. The official realizes the precision required suggests an extraordinary person. He ponders why a worn shoe would lure out the fugitive Nianju. Hands carefully peel the hidden item from the boot's layers. Silence hangs heavy as the implications sink in. The constable's face hardens as he examines the retrieved item. The boots are famous for durability, 6 layers stitched together. Head Constable Chu questions if something was deliberately left in the sole. He suspects the villain injured him to eliminate a threat to Nianju. The constable vows to ensure the culprit gets a massive lump on his head too. A busy marketplace scene shows people moving amidst stalls and noise. Someone asks what the intruder tried to steal from the yamen that night. A wide shot shows the imposing structure of a sharp weapon shop. A stern official announces a mandatory search for the injured Nianju. He offers a meager reward, 1 tael of silver per person split by the court and shop. The gathered men balk, noting 3 taels is too little for facing Nianju's skills. One man worries this is a suicide mission for such small pay. The county magistrate demands 10 men from every household for the search. Li Zhou, Yuan is ordered to join the search party immediately. The master demands to know why none of his disciples want to go on the mission. A disciple argues junior brother Li only trained for months, suggesting the task is too early. The master insists boldness is key to martial arts, not just dummy practice. The master reveals Nianju was crippled by Chulong, demanding they press the attack. A disciple assures the master that they understand the need to protect junior brother Li. The master simply commands them to go on. Another disciple confirms their readiness with a firm yes. Yuan examines the long-handled melon hammer, noting its power but questioning its use. The leader tells everyone to grab their weapons and prepare to depart. The group, including Yuan with his new hammer, stands ready to move out. The destination is clearly marked, Faju Mountain. The blonde leader warns the group not to push too hard and return before nightfall. Sounds of the forest echo as the group moves deeper into the trees. Yuan looks around nervously as the group spreads out through the dense woods. The blonde leader urges them to search the hills before darkness falls. A massive visual effect signals a sudden, powerful movement through the canopy. Chulong appears, imposing and ready with his massive sword. Yuan leans against a tree, holding his hammer, realizing the need for martial arts training. Sounds of fighting erupt as someone screams for help and mercy. The villain Nianju, injured and enraged, kneels over a fallen comrade. Nianju curses Yuzhen, Chulong, and the patrolmen, vowing revenge. The disciples confirm their orders with a quick "yes, sir." Yuan is thrown backward by an unseen force, the system noting the second manager's words. Yuan stands firm, holding his hammer, confirming the need for martial arts. Amidst the chaos, Yuan observes that the fallen man managed to signal for help. Yuan notes the defeated man is seriously injured, maybe even fatally. Gripping his heavy staff, Yuan moves cautiously through the tall grass. He witnesses a brutal killing, blood spraying from the victim's head. Yuan senses movement, realizing someone else is approaching fast. The killer gloats, taking the dead man's money since he's doomed anyway. Yuan scoffs at the petty nature of these Jianghu fighters. The surviving assailant sits up, checking his loot from the victim. A massive sudden strike connects, shattering the attacker's defense. Yuan recognizes the attacker as the ghostwriter who was with the fake Taoist. The victor turns away, focused on the money, not noticing Yuan. The bearded man happily shakes a heavy pouch of silver. The sound of clinking coins emphasizes the sudden wealth. The second attacker shouts a challenge, drawing a weapon. Yuan swiftly counters, unleashing a blinding, spinning attack with his staff. The powerful blow connects, sending the bearded man flying backward. The brute screams in pain, utterly shocked by the sudden assault. Yuan rushes forward, enveloped in dark, powerful energy. A burst of pure exhilaration hits Yuan. What an incredible rush. Leaning against a tree, Yuan breathes heavily, feeling the adrenaline surge. He reflects that his hammer technique held back, avoiding instant death. Yuan grins, realizing this robbery was a much faster way to get money. He muses that with his full power, a sneak attack wouldn't have been necessary. Yuan declares this confrontation is revenge for the previous blade threat. His hands clutch the stolen money bag tightly. Yuan stands ready, demanding to know the whereabouts of Nianju. The robed man shouts a command, "Search! Nianju must be nearby." Another individual curses in frustration while looking up at massive trees, clearly losing the trail. Nianju's eyes flash red as he unleashes a terrifying burst of speed. A blinding white slash cuts through the air, followed by blood spatter and a massive impact sound. The robed man observes Nianju, noting his body hardening technique. The robed man mocks Nianju, saying his technique is good, but he is useless without help. Nianju questions the masked man, asking if he lured Shulong away earlier. Nianju asks if they know each other or if the masked man is from Gaoliu County. The masked ghostwriter tells Nianju to remember his help and repay him later. Nianju demands to know who the masked man is and how he should repay the debt. The ghostwriter vanishes, promising to find Nianju when the time is right. A thought bubble reveals only 2 internal strengthening martial artists in Gaoliu County. Nianju stands alone, drinking from a small vial to recover. Nianju recognizes the contents as a high-grade Yuan replenishing pill. Nianju turns to leave, thinking he has no chance of escape now. Nianju roars a threat. "Anyone who dares to hunt me down will die." Yuan, hidden in the foliage, reflects on his own power with the long-handled melon hammer. A sharp scream rings out from the distance. Yuan is violently thrown backward by an unseen force, clutching his heavy staff. A patrolman lies dead nearby, blood pooling around his head. Nianju stands over the corpse, boasting that they cannot catch him. Yuan hides deeper, wondering how Nianju remains so fierce despite his injuries. Nianju stabs himself in the chest, revealing his wounds instantly closing. Yuan stares in horror as Nianju's injuries rapidly heal. Nianju notices Yuan, calling him a little mouse from the forging shop. The heavily wounded man glares, his long hair whipping around him. A blinding clash erupts as a powerful strike meets resistance. The wounded man mocks the technique used against him, calling it White Ape Hammer. Yuan's intense blue eyes focus sharply amidst the chaos. The attacker shouts that lacking internal energy means certain death. The wounded man roars in frustration as he is overwhelmed. A massive impact explodes outward, Yuan feeling the thrill of battle. The long-haired assailant stands defeated, missing an arm and bleeding heavily. Yuan's attacker recoils in shock as a counter-strike lands. The ghostwriter's partner is struck down by a massive hammer blow. A devastating impact sends the attacker flying, blood spraying everywhere. Yuan stands over the scene, asking if that was all the opponent had. He declares the whole affair over the worn-out shoe is finished now. Yuan turns away, confident the troublesome ghostwriters won't pursue him. He reaches out to touch the system interface glowing near his hammer. Yuan crouches over the fallen ghostwriter, demanding loot. He happily discovers the coveted 6 Harmonies boots on the corpse. Yuan grins, finally possessing a matching pair of the boots. He tells the blindfolded man he saved his life, expecting payment in return. Yuan looks surprised as his companion searches the dead body. The system panel shows Yuan retrieving valuables from a pouch. Yuan's hand reaches into the blue light, retrieving the second boot. Yuan walks away, dragging the heavy hammer through the tall grass. Yuan bursts through the foliage, announcing his return to senior brother Yue. The blonde senior brother Yue cries out in relief upon seeing Li Yuan. Yuan wonders why capturing the injured Nianju requires such a large force. The leader dismisses the search party as losers, sending them to draw out the real threat. The small contingent rushes into the dense woods with loud sounds echoing. The masked man calls out, knowing Commander Chu has found him. The ghostwriter emerges, admitting he couldn't hide from Commander Chu. Commander Chu states Nianju couldn't hide without help, challenging the ghostwriter. The ghostwriter laughs, revealing many cloaked allies surrounding Commander Chu. One of the cloaked men shouts the identity of the target. Nianju of Chenjun Cave. A dark, rainy scene shows figures approaching a dilapidated building. Heavy rain pounds the roof of the building where only 8 apprentices remain. Yuan tells his companion that capturing Nianju is just an excuse for the elders to leave. A thought bubble suggests a storm has already broken. Yuan grips his staff, looking out into the heavy downpour. Inside, Yuan reflects on his blood chi level versus his actual martial skill. He notes that, without weapons, his blood chi is useless against internal energy masters. Wielding his hammer and blade's edge would help, but he still couldn't win. Yuan resolves to learn fist and palm techniques to turn the tide. System details appear for a Tier 1 cold iron flying dagger artifact. Yuan examines the dagger, hoping someone in Gaoliu County knows its use. He exclaims over the manual, realizing he found a secret book too. Yuan is overjoyed, realizing Nianju's reluctance to leave Gaoliu Town makes sense now. The manual contains training methods and killing moves, though missing a key breathing method. He focuses intently on the scroll, noting the difficult stance work variations. Yuan sits in the rain, clutching the valuable scroll tightly, his hands clasped together as he processes the incredible find. Someone denies seeing Nianju, mentioning missing senior brothers. The young man insists Nianju killed Commander Q and that he personally killed Nianju. The bearded man asks if Yuan truly never saw the fugitive. Yuan replies he'd be dead if he encountered the wanted man, then recalls a meeting. Yuan confirms he will remember the meeting for the Divine Weapon Valley tomorrow. Yuan bursts in, declaring extreme thirst and demanding water. A hand scoops clear water from a large bronze basin. Yuan drinks deeply, the ladle obscuring his face in the dim light. After drinking, Yuan asks if the medicine he requested before leaving was obtained. The bearded man promises to fetch the medicine shortly. Crouching by a tree, Yuan consumes a small pill from a vial. He calculates the medicine requires 5 days to fully digest before training resumes. Yuan feels the expensive medicine working fast, despite sinking deeper into debt. A massive blue energy surge erupts around Yuan, signaling a breakthrough is near. A loud impact sound effect as Yuan finishes his breakthrough. Yuan rushes out, slamming the door open under the night sky. A frantic disciple yells that the master is back and badly injured, summoning Li Zhou. Yuan reacts with shock, exclaiming about the master's severe injuries. The master sits, slumped in a chair, covered in bloodstains. The bearded man cries out, calling the injured man brother-in-law. The master grimly states that he nearly died from the attack. A disciple begs the master to seek treatment for his wounds. The master declares treating the injuries is now useless. Close up on the master's face showing grim resignation and pain, the master pulls open his robes, revealing a massive gruesome gash across his chest. The apprentices react with shock, questioning the mention of Chu Long, believing him dead. The master dismisses their concern, stating the attacker's identity is irrelevant to them. Now, the master addresses the 3 disciples, noting their progress in hammer technique and blood chi. He emphasizes that few have reached internal energy, making their chances slim. The master praises Li Zhou, calling him promising with great talent. He states Li Zhou has a chance for the Divine Weapon Valley entry. Li Zhou urgently tells his master to stop talking and seek immediate medical attention. The master's hand reveals 2 parchments with monstrous sketches. An excited voice exclaims over finding the fundamental diagrams. The disciples stare, realizing the value of the monkey and serpent drawings. Yuan analyzes the system data for the white ape mantle technique. He notes the diagrams hold white ape energy, a treasure for hammer users. Yuan muses that he never knew such fundamental diagrams existed beyond basic stances. He wonders if the Battle Slaughter hammer also has a foundational diagram. The bearded man explains the 4 levels before internal energy mastery. He reveals the diagram is usually taught after mastering the 6 harmonies. The disciples rush forward as the master weakly tries to sit up. A massive sunburst effect highlights the master's sudden movement. The master blocks the disciples' attempts to help him with a swift move. The master identifies the attack as the dragon's retinue saber. The bearded man cries out about his brother-in-law's wound. The master grimly replies that he is fine, despite the attack. Sunlight streams through the leaves of a large, healthy tree. Yuan looks toward a traditional pavilion where others are gathered. The injured master tells Old Tang his wound won't kill him, but cripples his arts. The green-robed man offers a pill, calling it top grade from Four Seasons Hall. The robed man warns the departing individual not to ruin the forging shop's legacy. The departing person walks toward an ornate gate under the trees. The green-robed man coughs, watching the other walk away. He insists he would never destroy the family's legacy. The bearded man warns that Chu Long will return eventually. He mentions Han Chui Diao and the ghost-faced prawn, noting Old Man Tang's injury. The green-robed man confirms Old Tang took the blow meant for him. He states their families are indebted to the Gao family for generations. A thought bubble reveals Divine Weapon Valley cannot investigate Dichang Prefecture. The green-robed man looks sternly, dismissing further argument. The other man starts to question, but the green-robed man cuts him off sharply. The green-robed man sighs, questioning the promotion of Yu Zhen. He asserts trust in the meticulous Zi Zhen for the inner courtyard supervisor role. He suggests the other will be general manager next year. Urging patience, the bearded man protests being misunderstood regarding the general manager role. The green-robed man concedes, granting control of the front courtyard to Qin Jung. A younger man in a brown coat stands holding a scroll indoors. The injured master enters the room, greeted as brother-in-law. The master hands a scroll to Sun Hao, ordering everyone else to leave. Sun Hao confirms compliance with the master's order. The bearded man expresses concern over the master's wound. The master demands they pack immediately for a journey to Dichang Prefecture. The bearded man questions leaving, suggesting they take some apprentices like Li Zhou. The master yells, "Shut up," as the bearded man worries about his silver. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. The lead pushes forward as the conflict keeps escalating. Someone ponders the quality of the armor they are examining. Brother Hu warns Yuan that the soft armor is too valuable. Master must pay. Yuan assures Brother Hu he is only looking, not taking the item. Yuan requests Brother Hu register the armor, opting for the Jade Essence copper hammer instead. Coins exchange hands for a string of freshly caught fish. A stern-looking man observes Yuan entering a crowded area. Someone asks about Qin Xiong. The dark-haired man reflects on how friendships fade when influence wanes. A window opens to the night sky, dominated by a bright full moon. Yuan clenches his fists, straining intensely under the moonlight. His eyes flash with determination as he focuses his power. Yuan feels an inner membrane forming, boosting his defense towards 6 harmonies unification. Yuan returns happily, asking if his companion rested well, planning to cook the fish. Brother Hu asks Yuan why he seems so cheerful tonight. Brother Hu excitedly announces the family will have a new addition next year. Yuan reacts with shock, demanding why the news was shared so soon. The sister-in-law reveals she told him to wait, while Yuan celebrates the pregnancy. The bearded man tells Yuan to focus on his training first. The green-clad man states Nugi's talent is average despite his constitution. The other man questions Nugi's worthiness compared to a low mid-tier constitution. The green-clad man asks how long it took the subordinate to reach minor accomplishment in hammer technique. The subordinate admits it took him 1 full year to achieve minor accomplishment. The green-clad man suggests sparing a spot if Nugi reaches minor accomplishment in technique and chi blood. The green-clad man advises Qinjiang to focus on body tempering for the next 3 to 5 years. A disciple excitedly rushes in, shouting great news to the manager. Hands exchange a beautifully crafted, gleaming sword for inspection. A shout proclaims, "My disciple Li Yuan." A stern man tells the general manager, "I must get back to my work." The bald elder simply commands, "Go on." The bearded man chuckles as the other departs the courtyard. Someone questions the depth of the disciple's forging talent. The green-robed man proudly displays a gleaming dark sword. The speaker boasts that with support, he'll forge supreme blades in 5 or 6 years. The green-robed man confirms the shop will fully support such talent. A furious master yells about relaxed forms and heavy power sources. The master screams about slow movement and questions the ape form. The master yells, "Useless," as a subordinate struggles with heavy weights. A woman comforts the angry master, calling the trainee a good-for-nothing pig. She mocks the trainee, saying he'd never reach the inner sect without her master. Text reveals only 3 ways exist to enter Divine Weapon Valley. The master sits heavily, looking exhausted or contemplative. The 3 paths are detailed: young age, money, renowned elder, or relative with internal energy. The woman reports silver delivery, noting it's less than expected. The master demands more silver, needing it for his internal energy cultivation. The woman confirms she pressed them hard for the meager amount. The woman calls out to Master Chen as she approaches the doorway. The subordinate details Li Yuan's meager expenses versus the master's high costs. Master Qin, masked and intense, asks if there's anything else. The subordinate shrinks back, confirming that is all he has to report. Master Qin, eyes shadowed, questions if Li Yuan is truly strong. Li Yuan stands amidst golden light, preparing to unleash immense power. Yuan grins, exclaiming that something is awesome. He rushes to a steaming bathing area, determined to test his strength. Yuan faces a massive vat, noting it weighs 1,000 caddies now. His hand presses against the enormous, damp surface of the vat. With a shout of lift, Yuan strains against 1,000 caddy weight. He heaves the massive vat upwards under the night sky. Yuan roars in exertion, realizing the strength burst is real. Despite the power, Yuan admits pulling a muscle from the intense burst. The vat crashes down, splashing water everywhere as Yuan bends over it. Yuan smiles confidently, declaring he must enter Divine Weapon Valley. He enters the fiery forging room where others are hammering metal. An elderly, bearded man beams, recognizing Yuan's potential. The master praises Yuan, offering 8 taels of silver for every high-grade blade. Yuan is ecstatic, realizing he can use precious materials and is suddenly rich. He demands the hammer, eager to show the master his technique. The master advises patience with heat control for better pricing. A separate speech bubble echoes Yuan's thanks to his master. 2 men walk briskly down a sunlit stone path between walls. Yuan wipes sweat from his brow, looking determined after his exertions. Senior brother Yue invites Yuan to a gathering in the inner city in 4 days. Yue explains Divine Weapon Valley has 6 spots open for assessment. He stresses this rare chance must not be missed, as entry is decades overdue. Yuan declines the invitation, stating his master ordered him to stay and watch others. The 2 junior brothers react with surprise and silence as Yuan departs. Yuan watches the 2 departing figures, looking thoughtful and suspicious. A man stands observing, noting Qinshang is watching him closely. Night falls over the city, dominated by the towering Yeezy restaurant. A man with food smeared on his face eats heartily, observed by 2 companions. Dialogue reveals the diners are children of high-ranking officials and magistrates. The messy eater continues devouring his pastry with intense focus. A simple speech bubble simply greets, "Hello, Miss Liu." The man returns to eating as the rain begins to pour outside. He thinks to himself that he is not the one receiving aid, looking out at the downpour. He gasps, realizing he must leave quickly as the rain intensifies. A large character sound effect emphasizes the sudden downpour. Amidst the deluge, a figure declares waiting for this rain for a long time. A masked assailant crouches low in the heavy rain, ready for action. Figures are seen falling or leaping between rooftops in the storm. A silhouette descends toward Li Lin's house under the stormy sky. A large man stands soaked, looking around in the pouring rain. The large man searches frantically, noticing no sound of breathing. The masked man speaks, comparing Li Yuan's talent favorably to others. A thought bubble questions if the speaker means the second sister-in-law's brother-in-law. A woman in revealing attire looks up, startled by an arrival. The speaker confirms the brother-in-law stands no chance against the listener. The man asks, "Huh," as the woman reacts with confusion. The masked assailant's eyes flash with intense blue lightning outside. The masked intruder violently smashes through a wooden door. The man shouts, "Who's there?" facing the startled, scantily clad woman. The intruder strikes, sending one person sprawling as another flees. A candle flickers violently as a sound effect screams across the top. The masked intruder descends the stairs, cloaked in shadow. He confronts the room, holding up a portrait, demanding to know about his sister-in-law. The intruder discovers a glowing hidden compartment behind the painting. A hand reaches into the compartment, grabbing gold ingots and stones. Text announces the discovery of the white ape mantle hammer fundamental diagram. The intruder's eyes flash with intense, glowing determination. He pockets the scroll and gold, declaring everything belongs to the Taoist master now. Heavy rain lashes down over the traditional rooftops of the town. The masked man steps out into the downpour, wondering if Qin Xiang found him. Someone observes the rain, exclaiming, "Is that Qin Xiang?" The observer, now revealed, peers out into the storm, noting perfect timing. The masked man, holding a weapon, declares the Taoist master will pay tonight. The man in the rain wonders if the young bastard or Kid Liu leaked the news. Another man looks up, annoyed the waiting candle was extinguished early. Close up on the second man's intense, rain-soaked, furious expression. The angry man bursts out, shouting, "Where is the thief?" Extreme close-up on the second man's narrowed, determined eyes. He stares back, rain streaming down his face, looking ready for battle. A sound effect echoes over water splashing violently. A massive sound effect booms as the second man shouts, "Today is not a good day to get into a drawn-out fight." The second man is thrown back, surrounded by a blue, explosive energy impact. Close up on the second man's face again, grim and enduring the assault. Water splashes dramatically across a dark surface. The second man, battered, crouches low, realizing the fight has begun. The masked assailant descends rapidly through the downpour toward the man below. A massive impact strikes the man, shattering his defenses violently. The masked attacker notes the target's powerful recoil despite lacking internal energy. The attacker prepares a second and third strike, proclaiming death. The masked man unleashes the white ape hammer strike with devastating force. The second massive impact explodes outward in blue energy. The man hit by the blow clutches his injured arms, clearly in agony. The battered man screams, demanding to know the attacker's identity. He questions how someone without internal energy can be stronger than him. The masked assailant moves with blinding speed toward the kneeling man. The masked assassin grabs the injured man from behind, holding him fast. The victim screams in terror as the masked assailant prepares the final blow. The attacker's technique shatters the victim's body defenses completely. The man's body is broken, his internal structure glowing blue from the impact. The victim desperately thinks, "Just block one, just block one." The masked attacker slams a massive weapon into the man's face. Blood spatters as the victim is crushed by the tremendous force. The defeated man collapses to his knees in the pooling rainwater. The masked assassin stands over the body, watching the final collapse. The masked individual confirms the target is dead, shouting the news. He states that after 8 months, he finally killed Qin Zhong. A close-up shows the masked assassin's intense, determined blue eye. Inside, a man reacts with shock to the commotion outside, murmuring, "Hm." The man rushes to a prone woman, calling out in alarm, "Sister." The man looks around the ransacked room, realizing a home invasion. He reflects on mastering the perfection-level hammer technique soon. Wielding the glowing, energized staff, he muses on true mastery. Standing on a platform, he wishes for a larger cauldron for his forging. Li Yuan sits happily, counting his newfound wealth and pills. He holds the scroll, pleased with the white ape mantle diagram. He examines the diagram, noting the ape arms and waist technique, wondering if white ape energy relates to superior constitution. Grasping his sword, he decides the warehouse loot will suffice for now. He pulls the sword free with a sharp sound effect. Li Yuan grins, declaring the martial art scroll his greatest reward. His hands present the glowing blue folder containing the technique. Li Yuan greets his senior brothers energetically in the morning light. The muscular senior brother notes Li Yuan's unusual energy levels. Li Yuan claims he rested well, while another teases his height. Li Yuan acts surprised as a senior brother mentions Yu Da's visit. Li Yuan feigns shock, asking about the trouble surrounding the visit. The senior brother reveals Qin Zhong was killed by a white ape hammer blow. Li Yuan questions how Chu Da links the murder to their shop. He points out Nianju also killed Qin Xiong, confusing the connection. The muscular senior brother worries about the shop facing trouble. He dismisses the high-level politics as above their pay grade. Li Yuan announces he is heading to the warehouse for materials. The senior brother agrees, telling Li Yuan to call if he needs help. Li Yuan thanks Brother Hu enthusiastically before leaving. Brother Hu watches Li Yuan depart with a slightly sad expression. Two robed men walk along a covered walkway as another pushes a cart of fish, the sound effects indicating movement. The man with the cart stops the two robed men, asking where they rush off to. One of the robed men explains they are escorting Miss Lu out of the city today. The man with the cart smiles, wishing the two a safe journey. The man with the cart watches them leave, musing that senior brothers Yu and Yan missed Miss Lu's gatherings. He speculates those gatherings are a screening process, wondering how long the two will last against the Taoist master. The robed men discuss junior brother Li's poor constitution versus his high forging talent. One suggests staying at the shop would offer a more comfortable life for him. The other replies that everyone follows their own path. The two men agree on the sentiment of individual destiny. The two walk away across stepping stones shimmering in the light. Three riders speed down a narrow, lush mountain pass. A man with a red headband reports to Old Man Han about the search for the culprit who troubled senior brother Qiuran. He notes city guards from various counties are searching the mountains for any sign of the perpetrator. The woman, Ping Ying, suggests securing the city first, before anything else. The masked Old Man Han instructs Ping Ying to scout the city guards in the mountains and report back. Old Man Han agrees to the plan, stating they have enough men to spare for extra searching. He wonders if the target, Nianju, could truly be hiding there. Ping Ying challenges Old Man Han to do some scouting himself. Old Man Han orders her to send the captured fatty back to stir trouble in the city first. He tells her to investigate matters related to Chulong's death on the side, not worrying about the fatty. Ping Ying shouts, "Giddy up," as she gallops away on her white horse. A woman reports to a man that since Chulong's death, the city guard is on edge, causing conflicts and beatings. She adds the city is under lockdown, restricting movement and leaving streets empty. Li Yuan offers to help clean up, but the woman urges him to rest after working all day. A tiny creature eats a treat, noted to have doubled in size, surprising an observer. The observer chews, looking slightly smug after his observation. Yuan commands a replacement, demanding the jade essence copper hammer be swapped. Yuan sits cross-legged, hands glowing with intense red internal energy. A close-up shows Yuan's eyes glowing, proclaiming ape arms and wasp waist. A separate thought bubble exclaims he might cultivate a superior constitution. Yuan is seen wiping his face, the exertion causing him to puff his cheeks. Blood qi circulation speeds up dramatically as Yuan cultivates intensely. Sweat drips as Yuan bows his head, focused on his internal progress. Yuan leaps from his bed, hammer in hand, moving with explosive force. He swings the massive hammer, enveloped in a powerful blue energy surge. The hammer strike obliterates the wooden structure with immense power. Yuan emerges from the wreckage, completely drenched and feeling so hot. A blurred motion shows Yuan rapidly escaping the scene through a window. Text questions the potential of the white ape hammer technique on one's constitution. Yuan rests submerged, thinking if the tiger's war saber works too. A voice laughs maniacally, claiming the Taoist master's luck has turned. Someone cries out, wiping sweat and water from their face in distress. Text announces the next day under bright sunlit foliage. A ragged man cries out, recognizing Yuan and pointing frantically. The ragged man screams his brother-in-law was captured by the Poison Serpent Gang. Yuan asks about the Poison Serpent Gang, noting the man's strange return. Yuan explains the gang's power and notes their usual peaceful city presence. Yuan suspects foul play, questioning if Fatty Sun was coerced by someone. The ragged man tearfully claims he escaped by knocking out a bandit guard. The ragged man explains his group had 20 to 30 people, 13 from the escort agency. He cries out, "How would I know?" when questioned about his escape. The bearded man sighs, stating manager Cao and Li Yuan doubt his story. Li Yuan tells the distraught man to rest, promising food. A bowl and plate show meager remnants of a recent meal. Li Yuan tucks the exhausted man into bed, urging sleep until they talk. The general manager appears, asking Li Yuan about forging a high-grade blade. Li Yuan is completely startled by the manager's silent, sudden arrival. Li Yuan admits this is his first time forging, lacking confidence to the manager. The general manager encourages him, treating it as practice, promising a private reward. The manager looms large, observing Li Yuan's respectful posture. Li Yuan asks if the manager has seen Fatty Sun, his expression serious. He internally notes their martial arts are 2 levels higher than Qinzhong's. Li Yuan worries if the manager intends to block his future access to Divine Weapon Valley. A view shows the exterior of a traditional, multi-story building under bright skies. Yuan returns, carrying groceries and a bag of meat, shouting, Yuanzi is back. He tells his brother he took the day off for meat and eggs for his sister-in-law. The brother refuses the expensive meat, urging Yuan to save money. The brother insists Yuan must provide for the second sister-in-law carrying the next Li heir. The second sister-in-law says they have enough, feeling bad about Yuan working constantly. Yuan assures her the money spent is nothing, promising the best things for his nephew. The second sister-in-law suggests a walk for fabric, medicine, and a temple visit. The brother agrees, noting the streets are livelier, urging rest. Li Yuan agrees to the walk, a bright smile illuminating his face. Observing the city, Li Yuan notes the outer city is quiet due to lockdown, inner city bustling. Several figures approach the grand entrance of a temple complex, marked with characters. Inside the courtyard, many people gather around a massive smoking incense burner. Li Yuan gazes at the burner, his eyes glowing, thinking it's absolutely supreme grade. Li Yuan tells his second brother to offer incense with his sister-in-law first. Li Yuan approaches a table where a monk and another man are present. Li Yuan holds incense sticks, reading system prompts about the divine burner item. The system describes the burner's history and its luck-granting effect. Li Yuan exclaims what a great item this burner is. He notes the burner is superior to the main hall statue, forged from rare materials. Li Yuan pouts, realizing the temple won't sell the incense to him due to wealth. He resolves to try his luck with the smaller temples outside the city later. Li Yuan spots someone familiar near a courtyard structure asking about Lu Bailing. A group enters a doorway, including a woman with long dark hair and a monk. Li Yuan observes the newcomers, noting a new face with extraordinary bearing, a master. The group exits the inner area, heading toward the main courtyard. Li Yuan thinks people from the inner city see more opportunities than the outer city folk. A bright pale blue panel suggests a transition or pause in the action. An older man in red confronts Li Yuan, stating the manager demands action against the gang. The older man declares no leave is permitted, demanding inner armor forged in 10 days. Li Yuan acknowledges the strict order with a firm this disciple understands. Li Yuan intensely works the forge, surrounded by bright orange flames and sparks. Wiping sweat from his brow, Li Yuan pauses briefly in the hot workshop. A shot of a temple roof against bright green foliage signals a scene change. Li Yuan holds a long metal rod over the glowing furnace, focused on forging. A man announces the black silver threads are ready for weaving the armor. The silver-haired man asserts the forging experts hide secrets about the killer. The bald elder vows to find the general manager immediately. The elder identifies Yu Zhen as a poison expert with the white wolf diagram. The younger man stares intensely, processing the unfolding situation. Yu Zhen clears the way for old man Zhang to see the manager, chuckling. Yu Zhen summons the younger man and a few others to follow him. Yu Zhen mentions old man Zhang's disciple is exempt from this mess. The younger man replies he reached minor accomplishment via medicinal pills. Yu Zhen acknowledges the minor accomplishment with a slight smile. Old man Zhang internally labels Yu Zhen a detestable, venomous snake. The younger man looks on, thinking Yu Zhen is detestable. A high-ranking warrior rides a horse, leading guards toward a city gate. A rider reports to Old Man Han about the search for Chu Ran's assailant. Ping Ying advises securing the city before pursuing other matters. Old Man Han tasks Ping Ying with scouting the city guards in the mountains. Old Man Han agrees, noting they have spare manpower for extra searching. He wonders if the target Nian Ju could truly be hiding nearby. Ping Ying challenges Old Man Han to conduct some scouting himself. Old Man Han orders Ping Ying to send the captured fatty back to cause trouble. He tells her to investigate Chu Long's death on the side, ignoring the fatty. Ping Ying shouts encouragement and gallops away on her white horse. A woman tells a man the city guard is tense since Chu Long's death. Li Yuan offers help cleaning up, but the woman urges him to rest. A small creature happily consumes a treat, having doubled in size. Yuan demands the Jade Essence copper hammer be swapped for a replacement. Thunder cracks violently over the dark, rain-soaked rooftops. Li Yuan shouts, "Ha!" executing the soldier body stance drills. He proclaims mastering the battle slaughter hammer technique in 2 months. Li Yuan grins, declaring his hammer work seamless like water flowing. A massive lightning bolt illuminates Li Yuan standing powerfully in the downpour. Li Yuan stands alone holding his massive hammer after the intense practice. A close-up shows Li Yuan's confident, determined expression in the rain. He boasts that beating Qin Xiong again will fund his weapon mastery promotion. Li Yuan looks up, thinking about the power of white ape energy. Li Yuan retreats quickly through a window after his explosive training session. Text questions the potential of the white ape hammer technique on Constitution. Li Yuan submerges himself, wondering if the tiger's roar saber works too. A voice laughs maniacally, claiming the Taoist master's luck has turned. Someone cries out, wiping sweat and water from their face in distress. Text announces the next day under bright sunlit foliage. A ragged man cries out, recognizing Yuan and pointing frantically. The ragged man screams his brother-in-law was captured by the Poison Serpent Gang. Li Yuan asks about the Poison Serpent Gang, noting the man's strange return. Li Yuan explains the gang's power, noting their usual peaceful city presence. Li Yuan suspects foul play, questioning if Fatty Sun was coerced by someone. The ragged man tearfully claims he escaped by knocking out a bandit guard. Li Yuan's companion laments 2 months passing with the gang leaders uncaught. The companion worries if his brother-in-law is still alive. He complains the Poison Serpent Gang split up, evading the general manager. Li Yuan questions why the city guards are taking so long to resolve this. Li Yuan ponders if the divine worship cult controls the imperial court itself. He considers if the imperial court is just the largest sect league. Li Yuan finishes reading, telling Teacher Wang he is done studying. Teacher Wang offers to borrow more books from classmates tomorrow. Li Yuan accepts the offer, thanking his teacher respectfully. A courtyard scene shows lanterns lit under the darkening sky. A woman asks Xiao Shuju when Elder Han will finally arrive. Xiao Shu, looking out, replies simply that she does not know. A man announces he must attend to something, leaving his brother-in-law to eat. The woman with dark hair rises from the lavishly set dinner table. The elder man curtly commands her to simply eat. The richly dressed woman meekly agrees, calling him father. She sits back down, looking thoughtful while the elder eats heartily. A lantern hangs under the night sky near dark rooftops and trees. A man with pale hair asks if his sudden arrival disturbed his lord. The elder man tells the newcomer, Hero Yu, to receive his punishment. Hero Yu claims Brother Cao sent him to ask what the next steps are. The pale-haired man notes searching for the Poison Serpent Gang takes time. He emphasizes that the Divine Weapon Valley opening ceremony must not be delayed. The elder states the journey to Divine Weapon Valley takes 20 days minimum. He notes it is already late June, winter travel will be worse. Hero Yu understands and requests borrowing a team of bailiffs from the county magistrate. The elder directs Hero Yu to Steward Zhang instead. Hero Yu thanks him, deciding not to trouble the county magistrate further today. The pale-haired man walks down a long, dark corridor with echoing footsteps. A figure leaps down stone steps with an explosive sound effect. A shadowy person comments on the heavily injured man below, questioning survival. The masked Elder Han stands imposing, holding a dried leaf fan. The female warrior states she waited 2 months and 9 days for Elder Han. The warrior mentions resting until March next year, asking if Elder Han is the talent scout. The warrior presents a compiled list of youths with good constitution and talent. Elder Han stresses quality over quantity, demanding good constitution and talent. The masked elder insists on high standards for the recruits. The scene shifts to a bright, festive street the next day. Li Yuan examines a system panel detailing an Iron Army Trident's properties. Li Yuan questions the Trident's ability to anticipate enemy moves. A seller demands 3 taels for the iron rod, which Li Yuan scoffs at. Li Yuan is outraged, calling the price for scrap iron robbery. A man haggles fiercely, offering 2 taels for 2 items. Li Yuan boldly claims all the scrap items if the others refuse. Li Yuan gains water affinity X2 from the transaction. Li Yuan dismisses the dug-up items, planning a trip to Green Water Lake later. The bald master demands Li Yuan forge another high-grade jade saber. The master pushes Li Yuan, urging him to seize the time for experience. Li Yuan accepts blame, admitting he has been slacking off. The master playfully grabs Li Yuan's hair, calling him a little rascal. Li Yuan confidently promises a supreme-grade weapon within 1 year. The master is satisfied with a 10-year time frame for the supreme weapon. Li Yuan asks about his reward if he succeeds in forging it. The master strikes Li Yuan, telling him to stop coveting rewards and start forging. The ragged man reassures Li Yuan, saying no news means good news is coming. The ragged man departs, leaving Li Yuan alone in the workshop. A serene landscape shows misty mountains under a bright sky. Li Yuan approaches the grand entrance of a building labeled One Wine Tower. A junior brother shouts, urging senior brother Yue to wait up. The junior brother pleads with senior brother Yue to put in a good word for him. Senior brother Yue questions junior brother Wu about making things difficult again. The pleading junior brother begs senior brother Yue for help entering Divine Weapon Valley. Senior brother Yue, identified as Wu Ming, states he cannot help with this matter. Wu Ming turns away, leaving the disappointed junior brother behind. The scene shifts to a peaceful courtyard area with traditional architecture. An auntie pours tea while questioning if the spot for the intersect assessment goes to Yu Yunjin. The woman in red argues her superior blood chi should matter more than a slight constitution flaw. The auntie insists constitution is extremely important for advancement. She explains only those with both constitution and talent pass the intersect assessment. The pleading woman declares she knows the rules and begs her auntie. The auntie reveals that everyone screened except Yo Yun-jin is mediocre. The woman in red asserts, "Without me, you couldn't even get into the outer sect," as lightning flashes. The woman in red mocks her auntie, asking why she must crush her spirit. The auntie, now looking distressed, runs out, saying to pretend she said nothing. The woman in red sighs deeply, looking resolute in the fading light. Night falls upon a building marked weapon shop with glowing red lanterns. The ragged man arrives, calling out for Li Yuan near the shop entrance. Li Yuan asks why the man is there, stating the first payment is 1 horned pomfret and 2 tails. The ragged man asks if Li Yuan trusts him that much, calling it "trust you employ," and Li Yuan laughs, agreeing. The craftsman shows Li Yuan a drawing, saying he has sketched the requested item. Li Yuan looks at the drawing, questioning if it is merely a fish spear. The man confirms it is a 3-pointed fish spear, promising to forge it soon. The craftsman asks if Li Yuan insists on that design, suggesting a new drawing. He wonders aloud if the drawing was unclear enough to warrant a redraw. The craftsman admits the drawing is abstract, not just unclear. He tells Li Yuan he will describe it again later, advising him to take the fish for now. Li Yuan agrees to meet him in a few days, accepting the fish. Li Yuan expresses happiness, planning to bring the fish home for his wife to try today. Li Yuan, immersed in the fish, feels intensely hot and itchy after eating it. He exclaims the spirit fish is incredibly nourishing, surpassing a powerful pill. Li Yuan shouts in pain, submerged in hot iron sand, wondering if his constitution is changing. He endures the intense heat, his powerful physique glowing. A massive spectral ape descends, striking Li Yuan as system prompts appear. The prompts detail forging a body in the shape of an ape upon reaching perfection. Li Yuan emerges, flexing, feeling his strength, speed, and chi circulation enhanced. He notes his 7-star body hardening is close to mastery. Li Yuan grips his massive hammer, radiating power. Someone observes his new physique, noting ape arms and a wasp waist, superior constitution. He reflects that the rapid enhancement surpassed 2 months of previous progress. Li Yuan realizes talent and perfecting martial arts can modify one's constitution. He laments old man Zhang's limited knowledge, unable to teach martial arts. Li Yuan understands the value of a systematic lineage over dangerous self-discovery. He muses that achieving internal energy requires blood key circulation moving to the heart. The text explains white ape energy cultivation allows nurturing energy from the core. Master asks Li Yuan why he looks well, complimenting his appearance. Li Yuan credits his brother-in-law's care, then asks about nurturing internal energy. The master notes Li Yuan's good eyesight, then discusses internal energy limits. The master explains flesh and blood have limits without superior constitution. He reveals internal energy is white ape energy, hard to cultivate. Li Yuan questions shattering bluestone without hurting hands. Master explains internal energy flows like a needle, not brute force. Li Yuan recalls killing 2 internal energy users previously. He regrets not seeing their energy erupt before they died. Li Yuan asks about switching martial arts after white ape energy. The master calls him greedy for wanting to switch so soon. The master warns Qin Zhang died switching arts too late. Li Yuan realizes switching arts might not truly matter. Master urges Li Yuan to hurry forging for Liang Ashui. He mentions Divine Weapon Valley by year's end, next summer return. Li Yuan contemplates joining Divine Weapon Valley directly instead. The master states sects prioritize constitution for inner courtyard entry. He reminds Li Yuan to forge fish spears for the hunter. Li Yuan confidently asserts his constitution is now good. Li Yuan vows to make the spears extremely sharp. The helper is shocked by the speed of the forging. A massive impact shows the forging process reaching a peak. Li Yuan focuses, confirming the spear diagram is for Yu Zhen. He wants to test constitution modification after mastering more diagrams. Li Yuan arrives at a sunlit courtyard with his horse. The man claims Faju Mountain yields no gold nor much red gold in the city, so he has none. Li Yuan wonders who Liang Ashui blocked, demanding to see the person inside. A man bursts in, shouting, "Old 3," upon seeing the gathering. The newcomer asks his second brother if his sister-in-law went to the Bodhisattva temple again. The second brother confirms his sister-in-law felt anxious, so he took her to pray. The husband denies worrying excessively, telling his wife she worries too much. The wife retorts that the second brother heard about miscarriages on the street, causing his anxiety. She explains her husband insisted on praying to the Bodhisattva due to the news. The second brother asks Li Yuan if he feels uncomfortable anywhere, looking concerned. The pregnant sister-in-law cheerfully states she is taking pregnancy-stabilizing medicine. The brother announces finishing business and receiving another fish from Brother Liang. He declares fish soup tonight to nourish his sister-in-law. Brother Liang calls out, saying they are leaving now. Li Yuan cheerfully says goodbye to them. A pair of hands slams hard against a wooden door with a loud sound. The man with the top knot reacts with shock, exclaiming, "What, 10?" Li Yuan explains he ate spirit fish twice, feeling hot and restless from nourishment. He mentions exchanging weapons for the fish, planning to eat them too. Li Yuan stresses the fish is mainly for his pregnant sister-in-law and nephew. He vows to learn fishing to eat them himself later. Li Yuan plans to test his skills after the weapon master's tome upgrades. The sister-in-law presents a small dark pendant, saying it's the Bodhisattva statue. She explains the temple master said it ensures safety, offering one for Li Yuan. Li Yuan frantically pushes the offering away, saying, "And no, there's no need." Li Yuan's eyes widen in horror as he stares at something unseen. Li Yuan screams, "Wield." As he strains with immense effort, he questions the vision of glowing internal organs, exclaiming, "What is this?" Li Yuan realizes the sensation comes from his blood chi covering his body ceaselessly. He reads that divine worship method allows blood chi strengthening beyond normal understanding. Li Yuan concludes the Thousand-Eye Bodhisattva Temple holds many secrets. Senior brother Yui invites junior brother Li to a gathering in the inner city tomorrow. Senior brother Yui clarifies it is his small gathering, not Miss Lu's. The scene shifts to the Grand Yeezy restaurant overlooking the city. Attendees praise brother Yui's superior constitution and ape arms, making others envious. They note heroine Fang has an eye for talent, urging brother Yui not to forget them. Li Yuan observes the special treatment afforded by a superior constitution. Senior brother Yue boasts about junior brother Li's talent and forging progress. Li Yuan humbly deflects praise, toasting senior brother Yue as a generous person. Li Yuan drinks his honey water, noting he dislikes alcohol. Eldest Miss Wang Peiyao introduces herself, suggesting Li call her by name. Li Yuan asks if this means heroine Wang implies Lu Beiling possesses the needed item. Wang Peiyao confirms eldest Miss Lu likely has what Li Yuan seeks, but approaching her is difficult. A dark-haired young woman, eldest Miss Lu, abruptly leaves the table. She declares she is going home as her entourage follows her out. Lu Beiling is upset the auntie chose Yo Yunjin over her. She fumes that Yo Yunjin's talent is worse, questioning if only good constitution matters. Lu Beiling despairs, having planned for this for a year, losing the advantage to Yo Yunjin inside the carriage. She suddenly cheers, realizing there is still time to change the auntie's mind. She screams in frustration, finding the situation incredibly difficult. The carriage moves away under the bright daylight. Li Yuan resolves to perfect the Rui hand to change his constitution. A steward questions a woman, asking if she missed him. The steward reassures the woman about Divine Weapon Valley entry via Heroine Fang's arrangements. The woman asks for clarification about Steward Zhong's involvement. The steward looks out, questioning the identity of a Zhonghu person lacking propriety. A servant reports Lord Lu is at the Yamen due to a quack doctor's complaint. The white-haired man, Yu, admits not knowing Lord Lu's return time. Yu vows to return tomorrow and insists the servant inform Lord Lu. The departing Yu walks past a stone lion statue, observed by the woman. The red-robed master tends bonsai, lamenting Yu Zhen's foolishness with the divine worship method. The master worries about Han Chuigu's appetite and Yu Zhen's shallow cultivation. The master intensely prunes a small tree with sharp shears. He declares that if not through the divine worship method, they must test his battle slaughter hammer mastery. The white-haired man states the divine worship method is treacherous, unlike the hammer technique. He reveals 3 months of searching found no one matching Nianju's hammer skill. The man wonders if hidden experts exist, dismissing the few apprentices. Loud clang sounds echo across the bright tiered rooftops. The white-haired man observes the incense offering is superior to the 7 outer city temples. The white-haired man stands observing the courtyard activity below. A system panel reveals a Tier 1 wooden token containing a divine worship method fragment. Li Yuan reacts with confusion, questioning the divine worship method. The white-haired man's eyes glow intensely as he focuses on someone. He asks the muscular Li Yuan if he is indeed Li Yuan. The man expresses shock at Li Yuan's massive change in just 3 months. The man questions Li Yuan's blood chi accomplishment, who replies he reached great accomplishment days ago. The white-haired man worries the divine method is twisting his mind, needing rapid cultivation. Manager Wang asks Brother Yu if he looks unwell, approaching him cautiously. Yu Zhen replies he is fine, asking Manager Wang his purpose for seeking him. Yu Zhen inquires about the general manager's whereabouts. Manager Wang states the general manager hunts the poison serpent gang until winter. Yu Zhen suggests waiting until after the new year, then. Manager Wang mentions Han Chuling still hasn't appeared, likely staying until winter. Yu Zhen asserts Han Chuling will eventually leave. Manager Wang reveals a mid-tier or superior martial art exists in Gaolu City. Yuzhen asks for the location of this powerful art. Manager Wang closes his eyes, gathering energy intensely. Li Yuan splashes water over himself, cooling down. Li Yuan regrets being careless around Yuzhen, fearing exposure. He reasons that many have blood qi great accomplishment, so his level is less suspicious. He notes the poisonous snake likely hasn't abandoned the path of arms. Li Yuan finds Yuzhen practicing the divine worship method truly dangerous. He thinks Yuzhen differs from Qinshang, acting without restraint. Li Yuan believes Yuzhen would strike if he had proof. He concludes this matter needs urgent resolution. Li Yuan repeats Yuzhen's name with growing urgency. A few days later, the apprentice excitedly shows the master his first inner armor. The master agrees to the sale, demanding 12 high-grade blades in 4 months. The apprentice begs for 6 months, falling to the ground. The master threatens to strip the armor if the deadline isn't met. The apprentice runs off toward the warehouse, shouting about superior blades. The master states a heavy hammer needs more material than 4 blades of the same tier, not cost-effective. Li Yuan offers iron, silver, and a New Year deadline for the forging work. The master agrees, saying that arrangement works too. Li Yuan, surrounded by gems, decides to wait for Cao Yan if Lu Beiling denies red gold. He admits he cannot calm his mind to polish his forging technique. Li Yuan prioritizes nurturing white ape energy and upgrading the weapon master's tome with red gold. The perfected hammer technique was key before obtaining the white ape fundamentals. The combination of power and technique killed Qin Zhong, surprising him. Now the hammer technique is perfect. He needs no boost from the old hammer or copper. White ape energy is almost achieved, reducing the need for the fundamental diagrams boost. Li Yuan considers preparing 2 or more weapon sets after the tome upgrades. Fundamental diagrams boost practice, while item boosts aid combat. 6 harmonies boost suit travel and escape needs. He needs practice, combat, and travel sets, swapping based on necessity. Li Yuan plans a disguise set once the tome upgrades reduce cooldowns. A 1-day cooldown is too long. 0 cooldown switching would be amazing. He resolves to upgrade the weapon master's record first. Sharp objects fly upward with loud clanging sounds. A young man checks the tier 2 inner armor, finding throwing knives ineffective. The armor is incredibly strong, showing no marks from the blood key infused knives. He happily hugs the armor, deciding to wear it even while sleeping. The young man bursts out of the house, rushing for breakfast. Sunlight streams over a bustling eatery with a large dumpling banner. The vendor tells Li Yuan bad timing. He must wait for a new basket. Li Yuan wonders if the man eating is a ghostwriter. Onlookers question Li Yuan's disguise and suspect him of being a bandit. The observer notes Li Yuan's steady breathing and vigorous blood qi, suggesting good constitution. They arrive at the Thousand-Eye Bodhisattva Temple, known for granting grandchildren. People inside react with shock and murmurs upon seeing the group enter. The group gazes upon a large multi-eyed blue deity statue, asking about its effectiveness. A young Li Yuan happily munches on a bun in a sunlit courtyard. Li Yuan overhears talk of Yuzhen trying to recruit senior brother Yue. The muscular man slams his hand against the wall, startling someone. Li Yuan approaches senior brother Yue, noting he seems distracted. Li Yuan directly asks senior brother Yue if he's alright. Senior brother Yue dismisses the concern, claiming he is fine. Li Yuan suspects Yuzhen used a soul-bewitching art on senior brother Yue. Li Yuan presses senior brother Yue, demanding to know what was asked. Senior brother Yue recalls Yuzhen asking who stayed longest in the Faju Mountain Forest chase. He wonders aloud who could recall such an old detail. Li Yuan feels annoyed by the lingering threat of that poisonous snake from Faju Mountain. He resolves to plan ahead, knowing the investigation is thorough. The scene shifts to a dark night under starry mountains outside a compound. Li Yuan swings a heavy object down with immense force and blue energy. A massive surge of blue energy explodes outward from his strike. Li Yuan strains, forcing out the white ape energy with one vigorous effort. A terrifying blue ape spirit manifests from the descending energy. Li Yuan strikes the ground, channeling the energy into a powerful downward slash. Li Yuan grins triumphantly, declaring white ape energy achieved. Li Yuan is seen crouching by a bed, seemingly hiding something under the covers. Li Yuan watches a small rodent sleeping soundly in his boot. He glances at his reflection in a dark circular mirror. A masked assassin lands silently on a rooftop, declaring he will kill enemies in this strange land. Blue lightning flashes violently across the dark rainy night sky. The assassin resolves to strike internal energy users fast, preferably in one blow. His speed is explosive, feeling like springs underfoot, covering vast distances instantly. The internal energy grants incredible speed, coordination, and reaction time. He notes internal energy can project outward, unlike other forms. The masked man recalls Qin Shang's advice. A frontal assault is a struggle. One hit is best. He lands softly on a roof, confirming the rear courtyard location and missing targets. Li Yuan hides in the shadows beneath the eaves, observing two men nearby. A swift blade cuts the air near the two unsuspecting guards. He clings to a tree trunk, concealed by the heavy downpour. Two figures duel fiercely with spears, one identified as Yu Zhen, the other Wang Ding. Li Yuan wonders how Yu Zhen and Wang Ding teamed up, suspicious of their outing. He judges them as decent persons acting suspiciously on such a rainy night. The assassin leaps across the rooftops toward the distant structure. The two figures from before vanish into the rain-swept cityscape. The observer wonders if Yu Zhen acquired the divine worship method from that temple. Li Yuan descends rapidly through the rain toward the ground. Abstract characters fill the white space marking the transition. A horned, masked elder confronts a woman, stating his background demands ruthlessness. The elder, wearing a red demon mask, notes that everyone knows he is ruthless. He discusses Cao Yan's ancestor who only had average talent but used the white ape technique. The masked elder questions who dared kill a disciple of the valley given Cao Yan's limited skill. The masked elder vows to capture the disciple entering the mountain tomorrow. He warns the woman that spies from the martial suppression hall are present, urging caution. The woman questions if the elder is making Yu Yunjin's training too hard. The elder clarifies they scout for true talent, not mediocrity. He stresses that only worthy individuals deserve sect entry. The elder reminds her to check on Chu Da at the Lu residence after returning. Chu Long's line of succession ends if Chu Da dies. The masked elder leaves into the rainy night. He retrieves a wide straw hat from under the eaves. The elder puts on the hat, shielding himself from the downpour. He remarks that the night is quite lively. An aerial view shows the lone figure standing in the rain-soaked courtyard. A monk discusses trouble at Zhelong Manor and the martial gathering there. He asks if the man named Li Ba, who was struck by his cloud hand, is dead. The monk is certain Li Ba cannot survive the blow. He decides to go out and investigate the situation personally. The monk exits into the heavy rain, observed by another. A loud shout warns trespassers in the temple will be killed mercilessly. A high-angle shot shows a battle erupting in the temple hall below. A voice screams at the thief to pay with their life. The masked observer wonders if the two are attacking the temple at night. He notes the large number of people gathered at the temple, finding it wonderful. The rooftop observer sees the masked elder fighting the monks, many possessing internal energy. The assassin hopes the monks kill Yu Zhen, saving him future trouble. He judges Yu Zhen's martial arts superior to Qin Shang's, preferring an ambush. The masked assailant throws someone upward, commanding, "Up you go." A hand reaches out toward a brilliant cosmic explosion of light and energy. The masked man declares fiercely, "The incense burner is mine." He crouches low, cloak billowing in the heavy rain and wind. A swift foot kicks upward, sending the opponent flying away. The white-haired man admits, "I killed my way out." He senses the temple's aura is extremely oppressive, like a heart grab. The white-haired man believes the temple holds a great omen. He swings a staff weapon with immense force, meeting a bright impact. The white-haired man prepares his next move, hands poised dynamically. He clenches his fists, readying a powerful technique. The masked opponent recognizes the technique. Long-handled heavy hammer, fearless internal energy, close-range explosion. The dark-haired man swings the heavy hammer, shouting, "Ha!" A massive orange explosion erupts, striking the white-haired man down with a cry of AHH. The victor recognizes the move. White ape hammer strike. "It's you. You killed Qin Zhang, and you also killed Nianju." The defeated man scrambles away, shouting for his battle slaughterer. The white-haired man crashes hard onto the wet stone ground. He looks up, gasping, "You!" before collapsing further. The heavy hammer lands near the fallen man's feet, splattering blood. A high-angle shot shows the bloody mess under the relentless rain. More figures rush in, shouting, "Chase him, quickly, who?" A monk spots the carnage and yells, "Wait," in shock. The monks stare upward, recognizing the power used. Such a fierce hammer technique, is it Han Chuijun? The lead monk concludes, "With this miserable state, if not Han Chuijun, who else could have attacked?" The later orders the group, "Go retreat." The masked elder analyzes the injury, noting it's not white ape hammer strike, but different energy. He identifies the technique as way of arms, battle slaughter hammer, first form weapon strike. Heavy rain lashes down on the dark city structures below, a gloomy scene. The elder wonders if someone in Gaoliu City trained to such an extreme extent. Holding a woven basket, the masked elder stares intensely into the downpour. He questions if they suspect the old man killed someone, planning an ambush or capture. The elder vows that those who want him dead must perish, lightning striking violently. Hands fiercely grip and wring out sodden, dark cloth material. The text praises the combination of lifting heavy as if light and forceful in heavy power. Li Yuan sits, assessing his recent fight, noting the stacked effects worked well. He reflects that body-tempering martial artists are tough, yet Yu Zhen fell quickly. Li Yuan admits overestimating his own endurance, hitting his body's limit. Superimposing the heavy strikes exceeded his limit, muscle strain was inevitable, he aches. Horizontal training remains crucial for sustaining stacked states longer. He laments no inner armor. Li Yuan drinks from a bowl, considering weapon range advantages against close fighters. His strength surpasses 2,000 jin, making heavy hammers unstoppable against Yu Zhen. Vital protection rules dictate avoiding head-chest hits. Crippling hands first is key. Li Yuan notes the Thousand-Eye Bodhisattva Temple attracts many people nightly. He scoffs at the idea of a normal temple keeping so many vicious dogs around. He muses about the two pendants, suspecting hidden treasures inside them. Li Yuan declares he truly struck it rich after his raid. He examines the Tier 2 incense burner, finding it soothing even unmastered. Loot summary: pills, silver, banknotes, a Tier 2 spear map, and poison items. Li Yuan realizes sneaking the attack saved him from constant poison defense. He studies the green serpent spear map, noting mastery requires specific conditions. The robed man confirms experts are watching them from outside. He questions if it is Han Cui-jun, noting Spirit Weapon Valley is behind him. The monk asks how to proceed if Han Cui-jun retreats repeatedly, spying on secrets. The robed man states the Thousand-Eye Infant Banquet cannot be stopped if he doesn't die. He dismisses fear of Spirit Weapon Valley too far away, even if their martial arts are strong. The monk then asks for instructions on how he should act now. The robed man orders the capture of the Spirit Weapon Valley disciple residing at his residence later. Heavy rain continues outside the covered walkway. Li Yuan unleashes a powerful strike amidst the downpour. A massive surge of blue energy explodes outward from his punch. Li Yuan channels his white ape energy with intense effort. A terrifying blue ape spirit manifests behind him. Li Yuan slams his energy downward in a powerful slash. Li Yuan grins, declaring white ape energy achieved. Li Yuan crouches by a bed, hiding something under the covers. Li Yuan observes a small rodent sleeping peacefully inside his boot. He catches his own reflection in a dark circular mirror. A masked assassin lands silently on a rooftop, vowing to kill enemies in this strange land. Violent blue lightning flashes across the dark, rainy sky. The assassin resolves to strike internal energy users quickly, preferably in one blow. His explosive speed feels like springs propelling him across distances. Internal energy grants him incredible speed, coordination, and reaction time. He notes internal energy can project outward, unlike other forms. The masked man recalls Qin Xiang's advice: avoid frontal assault, one hit is best. He lands softly, confirming the rear courtyard location, but missing his targets. Guards discuss the strange deaths of two shopkeepers and spot someone on a cart. The second guard knows if no one claims the body, it goes to the mass grave. A bystander overhears, plotting to claim the human skin mask if it's dumped. Inside the temple, someone remarks on the viciousness of the attack, comparing it to Han Cui-jun. The speaker admits believing the Valley Master's claims about Han Cui-jun's character. The woman notices the missing incense burner from the main hall. Another woman urgently asks where the first one went. The first woman asks about her father's whereabouts. The second woman replies her father was at the Bodhisattva temple discussing the Tao. The first woman realizes with dread that her father went to the temple. The second woman questions what is wrong with her little aunt. The first woman asks where Elder Han went. The muscular man explains Elder Han passed by last night, taking the roasted rabbit. He adds Elder Han was filled with murderous intent, warning him away. The swordswoman asks which direction Elder Han took. The muscular man praises Elder Han's movement techniques, impossible to follow. The swordswoman resolves to chase anyway, sensing a misunderstanding. The swordswoman confronts the masked Elder Han, asking about last night's events. The muscular man accuses the brother-in-law of treason and the monks of an ambush. The swordswoman silences the enraged muscular man. Elder Han confirms the ambush plot and asks if the attackers were repelled. Elder Han dismisses the need for proof, stating the dead cannot speak. The elder orders the disciple to rest, criticizing the long, fruitless hunt for Nianju. The swordswoman asks if the divine worship method is truly evil. Elder Han explains the method itself is fine, but the brother-in-law strayed onto an evil path. Junior brother Li is greeted by senior brother Yue and others. The woman reveals she took the county yaman's report on Yu Zhen's death. She concludes Spirit Weapon Valley is the only path if the shopkeeper lacks a map. Shocked, one man questions the shopkeeper's absence after such a major incident. The woman explains her father sent people to Faju Mountain for the shopkeeper. The man states Cao Yan won't return unless Spirit Weapon Valley leaves the county. He notes red gold is rare, sourced from wealthy clans within the prefecture. Li Yuan thinks about obtaining the weapon mastery manual next. Li Yuan arrives, greeting his senior brothers cheerfully. He clarifies his role as only assistants, urging everyone to start working step by step. The others acknowledge Manager Li's arrival with low greetings. The scene shifts to a bright, sunny view of the city rooftops. Li Yuan and his companion arrive at the crowded Lu residence gate. A man asks Little Ant why so many people were summoned. The woman in red states she needs people for necessary tasks. Someone wonders if the person who mastered Battle Slaughter Hammer fragments is present. Fang Yunshu announces Spirit Weapon Valley recruitment next March for outstanding talent. A man questions if poor root bone means no chance, despite hearing prioritization. Fang Yunshu explains those under 35 with low root bone can enter if they reach perfection. An older man challenges the definition of perfection for low root bone cultivators. The envoy clarifies any martial art mastery is acceptable, including medium-low root bone under 20. The crowd disperses as two men step forward, bowing formally. Li Yuan decides showing great success is enough, avoiding perfection to seem less conspicuous. The other man agrees, accepting great success as genius level for their plan. The two men stand ready, hands clasped in formal greeting posture. An onlooker praises Li Yuan's mastery of the white ape mental hammer technique. The sound effect emphasizes the power of the hammer technique mentioned. Heroine Fang regards the display with a serious, assessing expression. The man explains, small success needs one harmony. Great success needs 6. Someone asks if White Ape Mantle is a long-handled hammer technique, clarified as both work. Li Yuan grips his chained hammer, ready to demonstrate its lightness. A small, determined Li Yuan announces it is time to test the Taoist's score. Li Yuan assesses his current hammer mastery, noting he can still control it precisely. He thinks Fang Yunshu is tougher than Yu Zhen, perhaps at Cao Yan's level. The woman notes his medium-low root bone, yet small success in 4 months. The woman observes his physique, suggesting medium-upper root bone at least. Li Yuan senses the intense gaze of the woman, noting her focus surpasses others combined. He resolves to familiarize himself with the weapon, demanding a strike if unsure. Li Yuan stands ready with his heavy hammer before a crowd, declaring himself prepared. A massive surge of energy erupts as Li Yuan connects the 6 harmonies. Li Yuan spins wildly, unleashing immense blue energy waves against a wall. Spectators gasp. Shocked by the sheer power of the kid's hammer technique, Heroine Fang stares intensely, clearly impressed by the display. The other woman exclaims in shock, questioning how this is mere genius. Li Yuan repeats his powerful movements, showing mastery across different stances. Li Yuan humbly requests guidance from Heroine Fang after his demonstration. Heroine Fang critiques his technique as continuous but full of loopholes. Li Yuan internally questions the critique, wondering if she is bluffing him. The other woman is stunned that such defense has holes water cannot even splash in. Heroine Fang states rigidity and inflexibility mean it is not great success. 2 men approach Li Yuan, asking him to share his knowledge. The first man unleashes a powerful saber technique, separation, and union palm. Li Yuan wonders if the woman spotted his secret moves. Li Yuan engages multiple opponents simultaneously with his heavy weapon. The first attacker shouts angrily at Li Yuan for being distracted. Li Yuan spins his hammer, deflecting incoming attacks from all sides. A voice yells, "Stop," as Li Yuan leaps high into the air. The armored woman blocks Li Yuan's massive hammer strike with her weapon. The first man exclaims in shock that they were defeated so quickly. The man shows his injured hand, realizing their failure against Li Yuan. Li Yuan stands tall with his heavy hammer outside a manor entrance. Li Yuan reflects that he exposed his strength, but his true secrets remain hidden. He considers that, if pressed, he might reveal his natural divine strength. Li Yuan notes he won't reveal the way of arms, Battle Slaughter Hammer yet. The armored woman questions his perfection in hammer technique after only 1 year. The accompanying men react with utter disbelief at the claim. Another woman asks the armored woman if she could be mistaken about perfection. The armored woman confirms her decade of training, doubting her own assessment. Other onlookers react with shock to the news of Li Yuan's rapid progress. Li Yuan confirms only 1 year of study, less than a year actually. He reveals his background: parents died, family declined, entered smithy last year. Li Yuan states he had no prior martial arts training before this. Li Yuan accepts that since his power is exposed, so be it now. The armored woman marvels at the genius in Gaoliu City. She notes perfection in a low-tier art is rare, especially without elite background. Heroine Fang holds a golden token, her expression serious and determined. Li Yuan thanks Heroine Fang for the token, noting he can enter Spirit Weapon Valley next March. Heroine Fang advises patience, focusing on the hammer technique, not internal energy yet. She dismisses Li Yuan, telling him he may withdraw for now. Li Yuan departs, smiling as Heroine Fang watches him go toward the bright sunlight. Heroine Fang suddenly remembers her original mission concerning the Battle Slaughter hammer. She decides to postpone the investigation until tomorrow, hoping Elder Han won't blame her. The younger woman rushes to Heroine Fang, calling her little aunt in distress. The younger woman is shocked Heroine Fang gave out a second token, questioning her promise.